do you mean? What do you mean? I'm glad you enjoyed the video, but what do you mean he's not worth my fighting? What does that mean? He is a commie, Russia apologist fucker, dude. And yeah, absolutely I need people to know. What the fuck? I mean, it's not like people don't know. It's just some people know and some people don't know who he is, and some people prefer to ignore it. So it just depends, right? But but I think it's still important to talk about. And also I don't like him, you know? A very difficult person to like, not gonna lie. Yeah, happy to make a video about him. I'm glad I actually finished it. Huge thanks to Aluma. If she wouldn't help me, I don't know if I would have done the video altogether, you know? So I did switch up a little bit. I did switch up the thumbnail. I switched up the title. We'll see, maybe it's gonna drive a little bit more interest in it. It seems to kind of get stuck at 3.8K. Yeah. Champagne socialist rich fuck. Yeah, but I feel like even if you're a socialist, I think this is a cope. You can't be... It's not a socialist thing. It's a communist thing. If you're a socialist, you have zero reason to defend Russia. Russia is not a socialist country. It's a former communist country, but so is Ukraine, right? So is all Soviet Union was communist. I mean, it came from Russia, and it's the only country it's the only country that jerks off to their fucking past. I don't think there's a single USSR country that is like, fuck yeah, we were in USSR. You know? I don't think nobody does that. I don't think anyone does that. So, okay, what is the analytics on the video? Belarus? Do they? Okay, this video, typical performance. Okay, yeah, it's kind of is bottoming out. At about 3,600 views, it started bottoming out. Oh, fuck. You can see it here, kinda. So this is views, impressions. Man, it only has like 900 impressions. %21 click-through rate. That's not bad. Wait, today is August. Oh, is this it? This is when I changed the... I think this is when I changed the thumbnail. No, I don't think so. Yeah, guys, make sure to leave comments. Make sure to share the video on, like, Twitter, Reddit. If you know any Reddit subreddits that might, like... If you know any subreddits that hate Hassan, just share the video there. I'm sure they're gonna love it. Listen, you can share it on, like, some fucking right-wing shit, or, like, you know. Don't Serbs dick ride Russia? Some Serbs do, but the government position is not USSR good. They weren't in the USSR, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't remember. So I changed the thumbnail and I changed the name, and I got a bump in 3% click-through rate. Damn, 25% of people clicking through. That's really good, actually. Every fourth person that sees it clicks it? Bro, that's fucking insane, huh? Am I wrong? Okay, let me... Yugoslavia was in USSR? I don't know. Okay, let me see my other video. Let's see my Bold and Bankrupt video. That fucking video is the most successful I ever had. Maybe ever will. Okay. Let's see the stats. So, in the first two... Oh, damn! It actually got super picked up after, like, the first week. It started climbing super fucking insane. Holy shit. And then it just kept climbing. I feel like we just killed the fucking... Okay. What about the click-through rate? Oh, 13%. Way worse. Look at the impressions. God damn. YouTube just showed my shit to everyone. Holy fuck. In the first day it was 30%. I think this might be one of the reasons. I think this could be one of the reasons that YouTube is like that YouTube started showing my shit to everyone. Because like 30% of people who see the video click on it. That's really good. And then it kind of dropped to 18 in the first 4 days. And then it kind of like was blah blah blah. Okay, that's not bad. Dude, the fucking impressions. Holy shit, YouTube is like, I'ma show this to everyone. Damn, it was just having a lot of impressions. Holy shit. The first year? Yeah, damn, okay. So people are attracted to Hassan video, but the algorithm is not necessarily. It might be a very interesting video for the algorithm, but there's no free space. So it kind of waits for the opportunity to put it there. Click-through rate is not the most important metric, but because algorithm on YouTube is extremely complicated, I believe I've read somewhere that even guys at YouTube don't really know how it works. It's like AI, and they make some adjustments to improve some metrics, but it might like heavily skew, because that's what we use. That's what we use in our marketing campaigns, but our marketing campaigns are worked. People work on them. So when we see high click-through rate, it means that people like the commercial, click on it, and we should make something similar, right? And then instead of impressions, we have kind of views, because impressions is like when the system feeds your content to other people and they see it. That's an impression. Obviously, view is when you view the content, but in my case, it's click-through rate. I would say, I mean, listen, it's only like it can pick up. Whoa, damn, 30%. I did change my title and thing. This is much better, huh? I changed it. I was watching Destiny video, and he was saying that YouTube algorithm, I mean, there's no reason that he would know more than me unless he has insider knowledge in YouTube, but I don't think so. Maybe some people working in YouTube send him some emails and that's how he knows, but he was pretty confident. It makes sense to me. Basically, YouTube scans your fucking video, because they scan your video anyway for like bad words, not allowed language and shit like that. Or like some porn or some shit. So they scan your video, and then depending on what you say in the video, you're gonna receive tags to your video. And the system will see what people click, and they will boost your video into those crowds of people that click similar videos. So I think this was a good time to post something about Hassan, because he was in the drama about the stealing content, this video might work out. I didn't think about it that way last time, like when I posted Bald video, but I'm gonna be honest, that video is not that great. It's not a video that should have like 400,000 views. I think I just clickbaited it super fucking well. It got a lot of hate, but I see that if you go to that video and you see like recent comments, many of them are like somewhat more positive than negative, because Bald and Bankrupt did lose a lot of like credibility with when the war started and stuff like that. But I'm pretty confident in my, like, I'm pretty confident in determining who is a shit person and who is not a shit person, you know? I should do, I might, but why would I? Like, I'm not even flexing my IQ, it's just a joke. I don't give a fuck, honestly. Last time when I did the IQ test, I had 105 IQ and we kind of did the same thing. We had an emote 105% and stuff like that, so I don't really believe that IQ is like a I don't think IQ is like an I mean it is an actual thing, but I don't know how well does it represent how smart you are, you know? So if you have like a low IQ, I wouldn't, unless it's like 80. I think IQ is like pretty good at showing how intelligent you are when it's like off the normal area, you know? If you got 80 or lower, you're probably fucking not very smart, you know? But if you get like over 130, you're probably a genius. That's the cutoff, you know, after 130. That's what I would think, you know? Just a random number. Don't forget the wise words of Stephen Hawking. Like which ones? It's not gay if it's on the moon. 7777. Okay, we'll see. You know, we'll see. Man, it still gets like fucking. That Bold and Bankrupt video still gets views. That's interesting. Got 800 views in the last month. For some reason, bro. I think you will find over 160 IQ's genius. I would say so. Like if the person like constantly has a constant result, 160 IQ, I think it's absolutely yeah. You could say that they're like genius or something. But that could be genius in like specific things. Doesn't necessarily mean that a person will be successful. Over 140 is considered a genius. I would consider like over 130 genius, but you know. I would say that's like...
Jets are the pride of every nation's air force.
Yeah, I would say like 130, like 2, 3 is like a genius. Over anything like that and over, I would say like...
Becoming a pilot is
pretty genius.
a long and tedious process, and only very few applicants are ever given the chance to become one. The reason is quite simple. It's a tough and dangerous job that bears an incredible amount of responsibility.
Bro, Russians launched fucking 4 Kinzhal's missiles on our pilots that were getting ready to, that were training and were getting ready to be sent to America to train on F-16s.
Depending on your jet and
like that's, can you imagine? Like 4 Kinzhal's, their latest fucking development, whatever, just to kill some dudes. That's a very, very expensive asset. And the thing is, that's one of the reasons why they're developing like drone planes. Because look how expensive pilots are.
the weapon it carries A modern fighter pilot has the chance to eradicate an entire city.
You have to remember, training a pilot requires flying a plane, shooting missiles from a plane, and doing like expensive maneuvers that could destroy a plane, dangerous maneuvers that could destroy the plane potentially during training. What's up, man? The fucking pilots are like one of the probably fighter jet pilots are probably one of the most like, I don't know about high paying professions, but definitely like super valuable.
Just at the tip of his fingers.
The amount of money you need to spend on training for these people, it's
Ukraine's
did the guy survive? Nothing was reported about any losses, and out of 4 Kinjals, 1 Kinjal was shot down. So I would also assume that none of the pilots are, when there's fucking sirens, like we know when Russians launch anything, if they launch, if there's launches, we know about it. So I wouldn't think those guys would chill. They probably went into the cover or something.
Force. By the way, you can check out our correspondence report from the Air Force by clicking on the link in the description.
Yeah.
Has taken
Launch. No. Launch. I said launch.
quite a beating since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. But it's still doing an incredible job defending the country's skies and people from Russia. To help them out, it seems that finally the F-16 Fighting Falcon, the most widely produced Western fighter jet in the world, will be heading to Ukraine. 11 partner states, including Belgium, Poland, the Netherlands, plus Ukraine itself, signed a memorandum on the NATO summit beginning of July, formalizing the established training schedule for Ukraine's pilots. Ukraine's Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov hopes to see pilots ready to fly in just 6 months. But why exactly the F-16? Why not one of the other fighter jets operated by Ukraine's many partners?
I think I know the answer to that question. F-16 can just do anything, and there's tons of planes, and it's a battle-tested plane with a lot of, they know how to fix it. They know like a lot of parts for it, stuff like that, and it's also being phased out by many countries in Europe, so we can grab some scraps.
Welcome to Talking Tactics, where this week we want to introduce and compare some of the most common fighter jets that were for a long time also being discussed as a potential option for Kyiv. Our selection includes the FA-18 Hornet, the French Mirage, and the Eurofighter. Let's take a quick look at each of these aircraft individually. Each of these fighter jets offers unique strengths and capabilities that could bolster Ukraine's air defense. When comparing them to the F-16 and Ukraine's MiG-29s, it's essential to consider factors such as range, payload capacity, multi-role capabilities, and logistical feasibility. FA-18 Hornet. The Hornet is a...
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but it's sad that we got cocked so hard. We could have been making our own fucking planes too.
Versatile and battle-tested fighter jet with a proven track record. It was involved in virtually every major United States military operation of the past 30 years, including Operation Southern Watch, the Kosovo War, Operation Enduring Freedom, and the Iraq War. It's a multi-role aircraft that can perform both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions effectively. The Hornet is known for its agility and adaptability, making it suitable for various combat scenarios. Advantages over the F-16: carrier-based capability. The F-18 Hornet can operate from aircraft carriers, offering flexibility in deployment and support for naval operations. By the way, the American aircraft carrier...
Don't trust this guy at all suddenly. This guy works for the United 24. It's a government-sponsored channel from Ukraine. I would assume that, my assumption would be that people here kind of know what the fuck they're saying,
USS Nimitz is meant to be decommissioned in 2026. Well, we have a better idea. Another advantage are the twin engines. The Hornet's dual engines provide an added layer of safety during operations. Disadvantages compared to the F-16. Range. The FA-18 Hornet is a bit slower and has a lower ferry and combat range than the F-16. The F-16 is more maneuverable, able to handle up to 9G. The Hornet,
still the wrong plane. Maybe editor fucked up, put the wrong picture. Who cares?
Is in the US military limited to 7.5G. Availability. The Hornet is operated mainly by the US Navy, but also by the armed forces of Australia, Canada, Finland, Kuwait, Malaysia, Spain, and Switzerland. The French Mirage. The French Mirage is a legendary fighter jet known for its speed and sleek design. The Mirage series includes various models, each with its unique capabilities. It is primarily an air superiority fighter. Advantages. Speed. The Mirage is exceptionally fast, giving it an edge in certain dogfight scenarios and interception missions. Proven design. The Mirage has an illustrious combat history, including the Gulf War, as well as in UN and NATO air operations during the Bosnian War and the Kosovo War, showcasing its reliability and combat effectiveness. Disadvantages. Age. Most operational versions of the Mirage are much older and more out of date than the modern variants.
Dude, I remember, it was so fucking funny. That guy was coping so hard. He literally shows pictures of Iskander missile and fucking Kinjal missile, and they look exactly the same. Destiny says they look exactly the same, and that guy is like, what do you mean? They're absolutely different. Oh my god! That was like, it wasn't the first moment when I was like, this guy's a fucking moron, but goddamn, was that a fucking funny moment, bro. Oh my god, literally looked exactly the same. It's like a 1-to-1. The difference is Kinjal has like an additional booster, but it's literally the same fucking thing.
Of the F-16, a jet plane which received so many upgrades over the years that it's hard to really keep track. Only recently, the French army retired 13 Mirages, since they are considered somewhat obsolete. For example, the older Mirage 2000C lacks a radar-guided missile for longer-range engagements. Availability. France, but for example also Greece, have operated various Mirage models over the years, and while they might have phased out some of the older versions...
How are you enjoying your ban on Twitch? I don't really enjoy it that much, you know, but I'm sure I'm gonna get unbanned at some point, right?
They still have some stocks available for foreign sales or assistance for Ukraine. Eurofighter. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a technologically advanced and highly capable multi-role fighter jet developed jointly by several European countries. Advantages over the F-16: advanced technology. The Eurofighter is equipped with cutting-edge avionics and radar systems, giving it a significant advantage in situational awareness. Superior maneuverability. The Typhoon's delta wing design and thrust vectoring capabilities make it highly agile during air combat.
I still kind of don't know what was the reason for that, which is... I wish I would know specifically, like, here's the thing. Like, they know why not just say it? Like, if you know the reason. That's like when governments ask you to pay taxes, but they don't tell you how much you owe. Like, bro, what?
Also, its dual engines, like with the Hornet, give it an extra
like, you know how much taxes like, you know how much I need to pay. Why are you asking me?
Of safety. Disadvantages compared to the F-16. Cost. The Eurofighter is generally more expensive than the F-16, impacting the overall procurement and maintenance budget. Logistics. Since the Eurofighter is a joint venture, ensuring a smooth supply chain and support system may...
I remember in the older video games that were like online or some shit, in online video games, if you ever get banned by like a game master that we'll call GMs back in the day, if you ever get banned, usually just like your chat is banned, you can't chat anymore, you know, you can still play the game or whatever, but you would always get a system message. It's like, you were banned for this exact message, you know, or like for this thing. And I bet that, like, a person makes the decision to ban you, just like say, hey, this is the clip, or like, this is the moment, right, that you got banned for. It was just like, oh shit, I fucking understand, well, my fucking bad, you know, I'll shut the fuck up next time or whatever, but...
may require additional coordination. Availability. Several European countries operate the Eurofighter, so there are a few of these planes around. But once again, these jets are a lot rarer, more complicated, and more expensive than the F-16. So, as you can maybe see by this short comparison, with over 4,400 sold F-16s, it is not only the most produced Western fighter jet in the world, creating a comparable abundance of spare parts and personnel who know every inch of this jet by heart. Also in terms of costs and technical aspects, the F-16 just seems like the...
Maybe that's the reason, you know, Spark, maybe that's the reason why they don't say, because, you know, if you knew exactly the reason, maybe it's like, it doesn't apply to some other people where it should, and people would be like, what the fuck, I got banned for this? Well, look, this guy says exactly the same thing and he's not banned. Maybe that's the reason, but, you know, I mean...
most logical and well-suited and well-rounded solution for Ukraine. What do you think? Maybe let us know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching Talking Tactics, hit like and subscribe, and see you next week.
Nike shell. I bought some Adidas clothes. I bought a jacket. I got mass reported by Grisha community? Oh, was that the reason? Because what? Because I said that he's like a little loser? Seriously? Oh, damn. Was that the reason? Really? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, that is so sad. Not for me, but I did talk shit about him. That's true. I did talk shit about him. I said that he's a little bitch, cuck, fuck that won't ever fucking debate me. But I don't even give a shit about him. He's so mad. Seriously? Just mass reported? Go check his Discord? Bro, is that true? Can anyone... I'm not gonna join his fucking cuck Discord. Can't you... I know that some of you guys are in his Discord. Can you give me like some screenshots? I might use that to get unbanned actually. Like, I mean, mass reported and then what? A mod checked my stream and found some cringe shit or what? Or is it like completely automated? I might actually use that to get unbanned. That's an interesting thing you bring up. Did Grisha ask for me to get mass reported? That's brigading, by the way. It's also a bannable thing on Twitch. You can't do that. If you're a streamer on Twitch and you're brigading, you can't do that. It's against the rules, bro. Might get him banned in return for that, by the way. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, fuck it. If nobody can provide me any screenshots. Can some of you join his Discord and take a look? I don't want to like show up there or some shit. Bro, if that's true, that's fucking retarded. What the fuck? You serious? I'm not touching that shit. Come on, guys! We can get him! We can get him or get me back. Sheesh, my guy. Are you from his community or something? You're bringing very interesting information. Maybe you can... No, because I mentioned him recently. Somebody was saying you should debate Grisha. And I was like, that little bitch loser is not gonna debate me. Because he's a fucking retard, obviously, but... Well, Grisha, if what he's saying is true... I'm not on his Discord. I don't want to join his Discord, bro. Like, they will see my name or some shit. That's fucking cringe. Can anyone do that? Can anyone join? Yeah. Can anyone join his Discord and find some shit? Damn, that's fucking cringe. Holy shit. He does have a Discord. Join with a fake account? I don't have a fake account. I don't even know his Discord. What's this called? I don't even know what it's called. Damn, some dude was what? This loser says did Thompson get sent to Gulag? Thompson got banned. Good. Tuned into that guy a few times and got sick of him crowning about dead children in the conflict. I don't even talk about that. Okay, it's sad and shit, but I'm not here to like get pity points or something. I'm here to look at Russians explode into fucking pieces. And then he adds, Twitch version of Dennis. I don't know who that is. Just more of a weird about cheering Russian civilian deaths. Bro, I'll cheer when you're gonna get fucked and fired from your job, bro. It's already in fucking... It's already in motion, you fucking loser. Gonna get fired from your fucking dumbass job. Who is Grisha, by the way? Grisha, Grisha is a Russian Hoi 4 streamer. It's like a game. We debated about a year ago. I have a video about that on my channel with about like 15,000 views. I don't think I did a great job in that debate, but he did even worse. His mom fucking was yelling and joined from the back. It was just funny. Yeah, the one with the mom, yeah. I have a couple of clips. Z Shaker Central. Is that the name of the fucking Discord? Holy shit, no shot. How do I even find it? Jesus. I don't use Discord. I'm not gonna lie. How do I even find Grisha's Discord? Anyway. Oh, I bet I could just join his... I bet I could... I bet I could just open his stream and look into his about page or something. Oh, there's no links or nothing. No videos, no anything? Does he not stream on Twitch anymore? I'm on his Discord, didn't see any mention. Oh, so is Vitaly lying? What the fuck? Vitaly says that that I was like brigaded and they agreed to mass report me. Here's an IP tracker link. You gotta click to get full access to his Discord. Now I'm just curious. Listen, I'm not exactly even saying that. IP tracker. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't necessarily even give a fuck about I just want to know. I would just love to know if that's actually true. They periodically... Vitaly, what the fuck? Spill the beans. I see that you have a Russian name. Very high likelihood that you're Russian, but it's interesting that you joined my channel and tell me that information. Do you have any proof that he brigaded me? I would believe it, but I just if you have any like screenshots or some shit, maybe I can get unbanned. You don't want to get DDoSed? I have what is called, I have a dynamic IP address every time I connect to the internet. It's different. Yeah, like I could, unless you don't want me to get unbanned, but man, that's interesting. They bro, I did say this is what's weird about it. This is what's weird about it. I appealed and I just said that I got targeted. You know, and they just denied my appeal, which is super fucking cucked. But because I'm not a fucking partner, bro. I think that's the fucking problem, dude. But it's interesting that you say that. Holy shit, I didn't even think about it. I would never, like, ask my community to, like, mass report somebody. What a fucking cock fucking behavior, bro. What the fuck? Or maybe I don't believe I ever asked you guys to do anything. I mean, my community is not that big still, but it's kind of interesting. Is it just me, or did he come here to brag about your ban? Yeah, maybe. Um. So, guys, is anyone on Discord? Is anyone on Grish's Discord? When you like search, like report, or like Twitch tops, and do you find anything at all, or everything was just looking around? What is Grish's Discord? Spark, can you share the link? Make a throwaway account and check. Bro, I don't even know how to fucking... I don't even... Spark, can you link his Discord on Discord or some shit? How do I make Discord account? How do I make a throwaway account? When were you banned? What was it, like 3 weeks ago? About that? Oh, fuck, I don't remember. I gotta find the email. Give me a second. Man. Twitch. It's been on July 27th. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't 1, 2. Yeah, it was 1, 2, 2.5 weeks. Two and a half weeks. His Steam account is awful. Listen, I know he's a fucking degen. Despicable fuck. I don't care about that. You smash yet? No. I'm sorry, I'm busy. That's the link. Interesting. One of his YouTube community posts from a month ago. I can say that there was never a channel announcement by Grisha to report. Other channels have been purged after your ban, so I can't say if there was some discussion there, but I doubt it. They were purged after my ban? Interesting. Bro, if that's the case, that is so funny, dude. That actually makes me... How do we get proof? I have no idea. I mean, I guess they could probably see... Listen, at this point... I just need to appeal to Twitch support and ask them to look into it. If this was an automated system and they will look into it and they will see a spike, I just don't think Twitch has that. That's the problem. I don't think Twitch has that. Their backend is extremely rudimentary. It's extremely rudimentary. So I've been told, and they might just not have that. Like a support agent may decide to look into the situation, but if he decides to, that would be amazing. But Aluma, maybe, I don't know. Aluma, you have a special partner channel. You could maybe send them a message and ask if they could look into this. 27th July, roughly 6:30? I think so, roughly that. Yeah, roughly about that. Okay, I will remind you. Asking someone to talk about a Twitch ban is also TOS? That's fine. I'm not on Twitch right now, so don't worry. Brigading and mass reporting channels is also against TOS, so that's gambling the system, you know. Anyway. Bro, I don't think anyone ever fucking got for that, dude. I remember hearing streamers discuss this many times around, so. Kickbot.gg? What the fuck is this? What is this? Is this an official? Server verification? That's interesting. Leaderboards. Yeah, but it's just a Discord bot. That's interesting. Anyway. Man, that's fucking hilarious. Which is, bro, it's so, what a petty fucking cunt. By the way, I didn't talk about that guy. I didn't even, like, he got super upset when I posted that video where it says like he's crying and his mom came in or some shit. He got upset and left my Discord, like I ever would be friends with that fucking degenerate. But we didn't. We made a couple of jokes at his expense throughout the months. But like, I never like. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. He's a fucking filthy Russian. He's beneath me, you know. And I never like targeted any attacks on him or some shit like that. He's probably, if this war is not gonna end by when he's 18, he's probably gonna go and fucking die on the fields of Bakhmut, okay? And I don't give a fuck. So that little cuck doesn't have a good life in front of him. So I don't care. But like to do this petty shit, it's like, bruh, that's fucking funny. Whatever. Okay, XQZ video. Okay, what do we have? Our currency is drowning.
Ladies and gentlemen, $1 costs you 100 rubles right now in Russia. Actually, it's not 100 rubles. It's 99.20 right now.
Oh, it's 90. 90 is the cutoff.
In Russia.
How do you keyword search me? Like fucking Thompson. What do you don't know how to use keywords? Thompson, report, ban, Twitch ban. Let's all report. Like, just think what people would.
Actually, it's not 100 rubles. It's
yeah. You search in the top right.
99.25, and most of the time, it was 75 rubles per dollar. Something happened. We're going to ask Russians what's going on. Dollar. It costs you 100 rubles in Russia right now. Why is that?
You want to have an humor answer or what's the
honest, very aggressive, very straightforward answer?
Oh, for me, it's nothing because I now live here, and so I don't use dollar in my routine time.
No, actually, you use dollars, but not directly,
Yeah,
indirectly.
Of course.
Everything here, these cars, check this out.
Yeah.
Everything costs you dollars, all of them. Even this Russian car, I believe, will cost you dollars too.
I don't earn by myself. I live with parents and study in university. So, since my born, rubble always falls. So
Rubble. Bro. Your fucking currency is called.
But I know that's
called rubble,
when
dude.
it happens, bad things are happens. So that's why the rubble is false. But myself, it's just.
What kind of crack neighborhood is this? What do you mean? It's Moscow. Fucking. What do you call it? Capital of the country.
Not controlling it, just being a good person and trying to survive.
$1 100 рублей.
Юбилей, может быть, у него, возможно. Круглая дата. 100.
So funny.
удобно считать
Retard.
Конечно, очень удобно.
Как-нибудь исправить-то можно, чтобы за рубль было $100?
А давайте доллар никто не будет покупать, и все. Будем с деревянными рублями только.
А
И
как?
все. Не
Ну,
будем ничего. Будем поддерживать российского производителя. Этим деревни. Будем растить картошку,
Go to the wow.
морковь, капусту. Не знаю, там, лен сажать, одежду делать.
She's trolling, right? Literally a guy recently that looked like her got fucking scalped in Russia for his hair. Like she must be trolling, right?
30 лет умирать, как раньше.
Почему? Уходить и уезжать в деревню жить,
У нас
все.
тут свой путь российский, получается.
Да, ну а почему? Надо поднимать сельское хозяйство, возвращаться к истокам, и тогда доллар будет не нужен.
Мне сложно ответить на этот вопрос сейчас. Вот, я думаю, что много факторов, и основное это политика.
Политика?
Да.
Ага. То есть дальше лучше не продолжать.
Есть такая мысль.
Shit happens. Shit happens, guys.
Yeah, exactly, but like
Nice answer, bro. Very insightful.
What do you want to say?
What
About,
happened?
about politics, about situation, about it happens. That's it. Sorry, folks.
You know, when we're gonna nuke Moscow, we're just gonna be like, sorry, folks, shit happens, you know?
Yeah,
Sorry,
nah.
we don't live in a free country.
Okay.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem. Thank you.
So to be clear, it could be a provocation, anything. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So right now we're at Flacon, and mostly it's young people hang around here, and we're going to ask them what's going on. $1. Мы снимаем опросы.
Что вы спрашиваете? Можно я снимусь? И это просто из-за санкций. Ну, к сожалению, сейчас так. Это для нас, конечно, не самое лучшее, что могло бы быть, но мы можем приловчиться в этих обстоятельствах.
А ну как-то можно, чтобы санкций-то не было? Что, мы плохие люди,
Ну,
разве?
на данный момент СВО, вот, и поэтому я думаю, что много с этим связано.
Oh, really?
Нужно, получается, это там что заканчивать, да?
Ну, примерно что-то, да.
Удалить Америку.
We need to delete US.
Лучше станет, разве?
А вы знаете, пока в принципе социум вообще головой и разумом не повысится, ничего лучше не станет.
Bro thinks he's smart, dude. Smartest Russian.
Потому что каждый держится за свою копейку, каждый держится за свои бабки, за свой интерес. И все будет расти, 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 расти.
Ну, в Северной Корее, это, знаете, там у них общий интерес, там у них... Они все начали уже себя, вот они закончили уже там. Все у них кайфует там.
Да я лучше буду здесь жить, чем в Северной Корее. Ей-богу. Ну, вообще шанс есть. В связи
Но
с последними событиями что-то все крепче и крепче зажимают. Шанс есть, да, превратиться реально в Северную Корею.
Отсутствие внешней, снижение внешней торговли просто, и все.
не хотят покупать, да, ничего российского?
Да, не хотят покупать, мало валют у нас, мало ее продаем, поэтому...
А что они не хотят покупать? Можете сказать, почему, что им не нравится? Вроде нормальный товар у нас, да? Что у нас там, нефть,
Нет,
газ?
да, ну на ней же санкции, правильно?
Да.
На ней санкции, поэтому она низко торгуется, мало денежек нам поступает, приходится поднимать курс, я это так вижу.
Кстати говоря, 23 миллиарда долларов вроде списали. Африканским, да? Слышали это?
Да, слышал, к сожалению. Не могу прокомментировать.
Ну, с ваших денег в том числе.
Да, с
Ну.
моих денег в том числе.
Это, как у нас говорится, геополитика
It's called getting cucked.
какая-то там. Вроде, да? Ну,
Getting
будут
fucked.
за нас
People in
голосовать
Russia love
теперь.
that.
Африканские страны. Ладно, вот.
That's why they're so homophobic, by the way. Like, it's happening without their consent. So they're like trying to, you know, externalize it so hard, but
Но не точно.
it just goes in the wrong way, dude.
How can we change it then?
I suppose we need to do something in economic structure. We need to do something with change in political structure.
Change in political
You
structure?
were not straightforward with your answer. You said something in politics, to change something in politics, to change something in economics.
Yes.
But like, let's get straightforward. What do we need to change in politics and in economics?
I'm not a political guy. I can't answer what we need to change.
You know what? You know what? Even people who are political scientists in Russia, when we ask them, they tell us, "I cannot tell you this."
You know,
Even political
because you know the situation. If you
Political
don't know the
sci-
situation, you
Nothing with my name?
Yeah, I know.
Nothing
need
with
to
like
check
Twitch ban, report,
А будущее-то у нас какое?
stuff like that?
Хорошее там ожидается?
Or maybe they nuke the fucking channel and shit.
Я из Беларуси, я не верю.
That guy was pretty confident that that's what happened. And I don't remember a single person mentioning anything like this. Anything like this. Which is interesting.
Хорошее будущее,
То есть нехорошее у нас пока что.
мне кажется.
I mean, his server is not a Russian server, right? He was streaming in English.
Я не знаю, насколько это реально, но мне кажется, нужны глобальные изменения, которые будут касаться всей структуры, не знаю, управления, экономики. То есть это должно быть что-то очень большое, очень глобальное. И, к сожалению, сейчас то, что я вижу, заставляет меня думать, что это невозможно.
То есть исправить мы не сможем ничего. Ну, я имею в виду, чтобы...
You can report his Discord if you find messages like that. You can say, you can report to Discord his whole server and say that it's like, you know, against their community services and shit like that.
До 1 рубль был $100.
Community fucking rules. They may ban his whole fucking shit.
Есть президент, за которого проголосовало там сколько, 80% населения. То есть они ему доверяют, поэтому, ну, значит, он держит правильный курс. Всем не угодишь, как говорится.
Ну, просто, в принципе, ну, Владимир Владимирович, он правильно шаги делает. То есть постепенно наводит порядок. В одном месте, в другом, в третьем. Как бы не сразу все.
Ну, вот...
Шаг за шагом, все плавно, постепенно. Спасибо ему большое, что Россия вообще сохранилась. И ее вообще могло не быть. Потому что товарищ Ельцин и там Горбачев, они полностью все продали на Запад. А он потихонечку, мелкими шажочками все начинает возвращать обратно.
А вот как бы ваша жизнь изменилась, если бы...
The problem is the appeal. I don't understand. The problem is the appeal. Even if he would like mass report me and the system automatically banned me, why did my appeal did not go through? That's fucking cocked.
Все было продано на Запад, допустим.
Probably maybe somebody clipped some shit or...
Моей бы жизни не было. И России бы не было.
Почему? Как вашей жизни-то не было?
Ну, просто концлагерь был бы, и я бы не выжил там, разумеется.
Ну, вроде бы люди...
Оставили бы там, ну сколько там, 15 миллионов трубу обслуживать нефтяную.
Oh yeah, hey, they didn't... Somebody was telling me that they banned him from ever playing the game or something like that. Like, they don't allow him to play the game anymore. Paradox have sent me a copyright DMCA on my stream. Second strike. Third would lead to ban of my Twitch channel permanently. Oh, they're striking him playing the game. Which, by the way, they can. Every game developer... If they want to fuck you over, they will just DMCA strike your stream playing the fucking game. Any game, any developer can do that at any moment. Holy shit. They did 2 strikes to him and he's now afraid to play. Is that why he's god damn. That's fucking great. Well, it's a publisher. Paradox is a publisher, right? Bro! That's fucking funny. It basically means that what? The chances are what? That... oh, damn, he's such a fucking pathetic loser. He has no VODs, he has no nothing. Is he like... doesn't stream the game anymore, or... He's on Kick. Oh, shit. So he mass reported me to ban me from Twitch. So we would be on the same platform? What a fucking loser, dude. I don't understand. Oh, pathetic brain rotted fuck.
А остальные бы уничтожили.
Ну, насколько мне известно, там на Западе вот нет никаких концлагерей. Они наоборот там памятники ставят.
Ну,
вот.
зато из Украины они
Someone found the proof. It
Вот
seems
то, что
like
мы сейчас
maybe
видим.
all of that was cleared. Bro, a dude with a Russian name joins my Discord and says that it was Grisha's community that mass reported me. Nobody in my community a single time said anything about that. Nobody gave that conclusion to my ban. Nobody even thought. I wouldn't even think that something like that would happen, right? Nobody even said something like that. All of a sudden, 2.5 weeks after, just some random dude joins and just knows that information out of nothing? That's fucking... Bro. That's impossible. That's impossible. Like, it is a guy. I'm 100% like, I'm 100% I believe that guy. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what we can do with this. This is an interesting. This is an
То есть там
interesting
жить
thing.
вообще невозможно, только воевать. Вот на этом можно там существовать как-то.
Да они там все сделали.
Запад.
If we was gone, how we
Самые
would have
правительства с
found
нами
the
дружили.
reason?
И я с ними дружил.
No, I
У меня
mean,
были друзья на Украине. И очень хорошие ребята. Но вот то, что
No, I
сделали...
mean in a sense that when I got banned and and we all collectively were thinking what could be the reason, we only had two things in our mind, right? And it was either like one or the second thing. Nobody mentioned what's up. Nobody mentioned that my ban might have been connected with brigading from his community. Nobody. And then just a random dude joins with a Russian name. I'm sure he's part of that community. He says it was on his Discord, so he's part of that community.
С ними, их никто не спрашивал.
Ну вот как раз нас люди иностранные смотрят. Можете вот объяснить, вот почему, зачем, какая у них была причина-то это делать?
Ну как, причина... Есть система зла, есть система света. И вот с Запада система тьмы, она
Oh my god.
хочет сохранить
Grisha's dad, by the way.
свое господство, а время уже поджимает, и у них сила заканчивается. Их магические обряды уже перестают действовать, и они начинают насильственно уже продвигаться.
Мы, получается, добро, а они зло, и мы боремся со злом.
Ну, по крайней мере, у России такая миссия — всегда спасать мир. И вот мы спасаем мир, как у нас получается, криво, косо, но, по крайней мере, как можем.
С этим не поспоришь, получается. Мне больше ничего добавить тогда.
He's like, holy shit, if I'm gonna start arguing with this guy, he will fucking stab me, bro. What a fucking nutcase. Jesus Christ. Lil Mao? Yeah. Well, him with him with Prigozhin. Yeah.
This is the US-made Patriot air defense system. Since 2 were delivered to Ukraine in April, it's proving to be an indispensable tool in Kyiv's arsenal. That's because the system is defending Ukraine's ground troops, cities and critical infrastructure amid a barrage of Russian attacks. So why does the Patriot have an advantage over other air defense systems? Let's break it down. At the start of the war, Ukraine relied on a stockpile of Soviet-era defense systems. Those weapons can target slower-moving aerial targets such as drones and cruise missiles, but they've struggled to combat faster-moving ballistic missiles. Now, Patriot systems are helping Ukrainian forces to intercept those projectiles. That's according to a Ukrainian air defense commander interviewed by the Wall Street Journal.
Зараз для нас ця загроза частково зникла, виходячи із кількості зенітно-ракетних комплексів Петріот.
Here's how it works. Patriot missiles consist of multiple components.
Thanks for looking.
3 of its main parts sit on top of truck platforms. The radar tracks missiles and other targets. It can detect aircraft up to 62 miles away and ballistic missiles more than 100 miles away. It sends data to the engagement control station. That unit then processes the information before sending it to the launching station, which can carry up to 16 missiles.
Петріота передбачені технічні можливості знищення балістичних цілей, тобто його своєчасне виявлення і перехоплення. Цілі, які летять по балістичній траєкторії, вони піднімаються на декілька десятків кілометрів і потім так різко спускаються.
Military analysts say the system has outperformed initial expectations in Ukraine.
Хто не розумів, що Петріот здатний знищувати гіперзвукову ракету Х-47. Це довели українці.
Also known as the Kinzhal, the Kh-47 is one of Russia's most advanced weapons. On May 16th, a Patriot detected 6 Russian Kinzhal ballistic missiles at a distance of around 125 miles. The system launched interceptors, destroying all of them. Patriots in Ukraine fire at targets using 2 different types of interceptors, PAC-2 and PAC-3. PAC-2 downs targets through blast fragmentation, and PAC-3 uses hit-to-kill technology instead. By combining the Patriot with other air defense systems, Ukraine is now fending off most aerial threats against Kyiv. However, the Patriot does have some disadvantages. It's by far the most expensive single weapon system that the US has supplied to Ukraine. Each Patriot system costs around $1 billion and takes 2 years to build. The missiles fired out of the Patriot are expensive too. Each PAC-3 costs around $4.1 million. The high cost per missile and the relatively small...
that's a cost, right? Like, that's the cost, but not cost to make. It's a selling cost. It's a selling price.
Missiles in a battery means that Patriot operators cannot shoot at every target. In addition, the Patriot requires a lot of manpower. The systems need as many as 90 soldiers to operate, but the control station can be operated in the field by as few as 3. Gaining more batteries could help Kyiv in a number of ways amid the counteroffensive.
Bro, stop with this fucking picture, bro. It's this... Bro, these fucking... Oh my god.
Mainly being able to protect ground troops from...
Bro, it's so fucking
aerial
stupid.
threats as they push to
I'm
retake
so sick of that fucking one
This
video.
summer, the US announced a new military package worth up to $500 million. The aid will include ammunition for Patriot systems, according to a statement from the Pentagon.
How many? Yeah, I bet it's like 40,000 Leopards and 50 million Bradleys just from that one fucking photo. How many times
There are
it
at
was
least
shown?
2 full Patriot systems operating in Ukraine. In July, Germany announced it would provide 2 additional Patriot missile launchers.
He's live on Twitch right
Ukrainian
now.
President Vladimir Zelensky has said the country wants as many as 50.
He deletes all his VODs so he wouldn't get DMCA'd. Is that maybe the reason? How he... Is he streaming that fucking game? What a fucking pathetic... What a pathetic cuck. Bro, fuck this degen.
How would they get groomed?
Okay. Acne riddled fucking piece of shit. Alright. What do we have? Well, we have... Whoa, what is this? Is this like a stream? They had a stream?
Anybody who says this assault is too slow is an idiot.
And go, oh cool, we're on the other side of the river now. Yay, yeah.
There isn't a magical Western answer to apply.
Okay, before we get into that, let's get into the news first, okay? Let's get into the news, right? We have news to discuss. Let's discuss some news. 50,000 trillion, 1 trillion Zelensky attacked Donbass. Children. Russians attacked 25 Ukrainians. Fuck that guy. Oh, this is an interesting guy. So we captured Russian Major Tomov. And he's been showing up in some videos, some Ukrainian videos. Here's him. I think it's the guy who got captured. Remember that story where we used a radio from captured Russians? Major Tom, yeah. He's not, well, it's not Major, right? What is it? No, it is. It is Major Tomov. Here, this is the guy, I believe this is the guy that got captured by Ukrainian units when we fucked Russians on the other bank of Dnipro and then captured the radio, called assistance. He came in and he got captured. So this is the guy. Oh, sorry. Here's him basically showing us Russian positions in the Zaporizhia region.
Встреча. Глаз. А? Да. Копье.
Юра, все малюй, тільки максимально коректно.
Come on, draw everything, but absolutely with utmost precision.
Пленный комбат, ё-моё.
Damn, fucking major in capture, nice. Alright, that's him. He turned, I mean, bro, I'm gonna cut his fucking nuts off. He's not gonna do it. And then he is, here's he is. What is he saying? He is giving a little interview. What is he saying now? I like to ask, this is a message to all the officers, to all my comrades, with an ask that we need to stop this bloody war on the territory of Ukraine. This war is going to be lost, and it's not going to bring anything good to our homes. We need to go back to our positions on the territory of Russia, and we need to start sorting out this chaos inside our own country, as Prigozhin was doing before. Uh-oh, dude. Sure. Just leave. Okay. Just leave. But they won't, so we'll kill them all. Fuck them, bro. Okay, what do I have here? If people ask how dudes on the front line cut their hair, this is how. How sharp the knife needs to be. It needs to be extremely sharp. A full interview? Damn, 14 minutes? What is he gonna say? What, no subs?
Как давно занимаешь эту должность?
Данную должность я занимаю с 2 февраля 2023 года.
Ты военнослужащий по контракту или ты мобилизованный?
No subs?
По частичной мобилизации.
Translation needed? I ain't gonna translate that shit, boy! I mean, I don't think it's very interesting, but fuck it, let's do it. You know, listen, I may translate this, and some of you guys, if you want, can clip this and fucking post on this in the comments, into this thread. It's a translation, okay? Jesus Christ.
Представь,
Hello, what's your name?
Майор Томов.
Major Tomov,
Командир батальона 1822 Вооруженных сил Российской Федерации.
commander of the battalion 1822, Russian Federation.
2 февраля 2023 года.
It says, on this position I'm from the February 2022.
Ты военнослужащий
Данную должность я занимаю с 2 февраля 2023 года.
2023, I'm sorry.
военнослужащий по контракту.
Are you contract or mobilized?
Военнослужащий по частичной мобилизации.
I am partially mobilized.
27 сентября 2020.
Mobilized on 27th of September 2022.
18 октября 1900.
Was born on 18 October 1990, 78.
Перед увольнением я служил в войсковой части 42-685.
I was serving in 42 680 fighting fucking whatever.
Данная часть является...
Bro, I can't hear shit. When I'm talking, I can't hear anything they're saying. I don't know how can I synchronously fucking translate. It's fucking killing me, bro. If I'm gonna make it too loud, you're not gonna hear shit. What do I do? That's the reason I have to pause, bro.
Перед увольнением я служил в войсковой части 42-685.
Детально про эту часть.
Данная часть является подразделением, которое обеспечивает хранение боеприпасов.
He says, I can't even pause with the fucking spacebar. This website's shit. He says, my duty, the task of my regiment or whatever was to oversee the ammunition.
Как давно ты на территории Украины?
How long are you in Ukraine?
Территории Украины я нахожусь 15 октября.
I was in Ukraine since 15th of October 2022.
До того, как стал командиром батальона, какой
Before you became a battalion commander,
занимал?
what did you
В
do?
этом же батальоне я занимал должность начальника штаба.
In this battalion, I was the headmaster or some shit.
Где делся предыдущий командир?
Where was the previous commander?
Его перевели в другую часть.
He was transferred to another battalion.
Причина перевода?
What's the reason?
Личная неприязнь к командиру части со стороны старшего руководства.
It says personal disgrace from the top leadership to this particular guy.
Детально про руководство. Какой был конфликт?
What was the conflict?
Человек очень много лукавил.
The person was lying
Уклонялся от выполнения своих обязанностей.
and would not perform his duties.
Командира части? Фамилия можешь назвать какую-нибудь?
What's the last name of your commander?
Полковник Велицов Роман Юрьевич.
Colonel Lieutenant Romanov, whatever.
Какая численность вашего подразделения?
Штатная численность
How many people are in your corps?
подразделения 619 военнослужащих.
Not corps, or like the battalion. 619 people.
По факту.
По факту примерно 550.
He says, okay, and factual number of people, about 550.
Есть ли в батальоне боевые потери?
Да, в
What?
батальоне есть
В батальоне боевые потери.
Да, в батальоне есть боевые потери.
He says, were there any battle losses in your battalion? He says, yes.
В состоянии на 6 августа эта цифра приближалась к 25%.
It was about 25% in close to to this date in the beginning of August.
В настоящий день, с учетом еще 2 боевых дней, эта цифра, я думаю, достигнет порядка 30%.
Within the following couple of days, I expect it to be about 30%.
Как давно вы принимаете участие на линии соприкосновения?
How long are you actually fighting on the line?
На линии соприкосновения мой батальон принимает участие с 28 июля 2023 года.
It says we're fighting from 28th of July.
То есть за несколько недель у вас потери составили...
So it says in a couple of weeks you lost 25% of your battalion.
За несколько недель потери составили практически четверть батальона.
He says yes.
Вы оцениваете подготовку своего батальона?
How would you evaluate? How will you? Sorry. How would you evaluate your combat readiness of your battalion?
Подготовку своего батальона оценим как крайне неудовлетворительную,
I would evaluate it as completely unprepared,
потому что
unsatisfactory,
подготовка личного состава практически никто не занимался.
because nobody was training them.
Никакой подготовки не проводились, тренировок не было, морально-психологическим состоянием.
Moral situation is horrible. Nobody was doing anything.
Что привело, соответственно, к такому плачевному результату.
Which is procuring such a horrible result as huge losses.
Какое моральное состояние бойцов, когда они
What is the moral state of your fighters?
промежуток времени понесли такие потери?
Личный состав подавлен.
People are not motivated.
Выполнять поставленные перед ним задачи.
They don't want to fight and perform their objectives.
Вы, люди, отказывались выполнять задачи?
Your people didn't want to do battle tasks? Yes.
До того, как вы приехали
Before you joined this, you came to this region and started doing objectives under the leadership of Russian mod.
Какое состояние было бойцов?
What was the situation of the fighters?
Состояние бойцов от сегодняшнего отличалось немногим, потому что
There wasn't much difference.
участие в специальной военной операции
Participation in
составом не поддерживалось. Цели были непонятны.
Special military operation was confusing. No objectives were confusing.
Однозначно. Политика правительства Российской Федерации, в частности Владимира Владимировича Путина,
The politics of the government, especially Putin,
воспринимается критически и вызывает большое недовольство лично.
Is perceived critically, and people do not understand or pursue those goals.
С теми людьми, которых ты был взят в плен.
People who captured you.
Помощь им давалась медицинская.
Did you receive medical assistance, etc.?
Обследование им давалось, питание.
Food?
Да, нас хорошо кормят, трехразовое питание.
Yeah, we're being fed 3 times a day.
Вода.
We're given water.
По необходимости предоставляется медицинское обеспечение.
We receive medicine help if necessary.
Задачи ставило руководство.
What was the objectives that were given by the high command?
Задача руководства ставила конкретно осуществление функции наблюдения на линии
Our task was to observe
соприкосновения.
the front line.
Личный состав для выполнения этой задачи должен был быть хорошо психологически подготовлен.
Soldiers needed a good psychological training.
Однако,
However,
структурами военно-политической работы
military political leadership
морально-психологическое состояние личного состава не проводилось.
Did not assure psychological and physical support for the or training to the soldiers.
Люди в кратчайшие сроки оказались в жуткой депрессии и подавлены.
People would be depressed and subdued by the situation.
Боевые действия с таким личным составом не представляется возможным.
You posted an image in my Discord. What that is? Image of what? Oh, of him streaming? I don't give a fuck. No, I thought you were gonna post like an image of some proof that I could send to Twitch partner, to fucking Twitch, and you know, get unbanned or some shit. That's what's important. I don't give a fuck about that loser, bro. You know. Care about getting unbanned on Twitch. I'm sure it's gonna happen at some point. I just don't want to wait for too long, man. Indefinite ban was pretty fucking cucked. Not gonna lie. It's pretty fucking cucked. But by the way, guys, I have more stuff from ChatGPT. Remember last time we had a discussion with him about like philosophy and stuff? I have more, so I think it's gonna be interesting, but we're gonna do that later.
Что и привело к массовым отказам от выполнения поставленных.
Basically, his soldiers are fucking retards and they don't want to do anything because they don't understand any of the. I'm sorry, the leadership of the Russia are retards. So soldiers are also retards. Okay, they don't understand what to do. They don't understand the objectives. They don't support. He says they don't support the decisions of the command.
Кем считал ты вооруженные силы Украины? Кем в действительности вы доносили своим бойцам в том виде?
Вооруженные силы Украины я считал нацистскими.
He says, what was your belief about the Ukrainian troops, and then what was your experience with them? He says, I believed that Ukrainian troops were fascist troops, Nazi troops.
Поспешниками и продолжателями фашистской идеи.
The followers of the fascist ideas.
Соответственно, в таком же ключе я
Therefore,
дал информацию до своего личного состава.
Therefore, in this, with this understanding, I was conveying information to my soldiers.
Однако, попав
When I was captured
и реально столкнувшись
and seeing
с реалиями,
the reality,
это оказалось не так.
Мы сейчас говорим до того, как ты попал
it turned out to be not true.
в плен или до того, как ты приехал в Украину?
You mean before you came to Ukraine or before you got captured?
Этот вывод был сделан
This
до того, как я попал в плен уже на Украине,
This conclusion was done before I got captured in Ukraine,
столкнувшись с людьми
when
и
I
общаясь с ними.
started discussing,
И
talking with
также
people,
выводы основаны на том отношении, которое было оказано мне при нахождении в плену.
and also how I was treated in capture. Bro, this is so insane to me. Like, all of a sudden, like, I mean, maybe the propaganda was working for the past 8 years. But, like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, all of a sudden your country is, like, fascist? Come on. Like, the neighboring country of you is just fascist all of a sudden? Just fucking, what a brain dead fucking.
Вам было от местного населения на временно оккупированную территорию Украины.
Отношение местного населения
What was the treatment of the local population towards you?
было негативное.
It was negative.
Относились как к захватчикам.
We were treated as occupiers.
На контакт население не шло.
The locals didn't want to talk to us.
Крайне напряженная была ситуация.
It was tense.
Возможные конфликты могут
Possible
привести к серьезным
conflict
столкновениям.
could
Поэтому даже
arise to
при перемещении нам приходилось привлекать специальные
to big problems.
Структуры, которые обеспечивали безопасность передвижения.
And when we were transferring our troops, we used special structures to make our traveling safer or some shit.
Личный состав для того, чтобы находиться в безопасности, постоянно проживал в лесополосах и
the soldiers constantly lived in the tree lines
лесных массивах.
and forests, not in cities or whatever.
О размещениях мы поговорим позднее. И точка базирования и всем остальном.
I can barely hear what he's saying, bro. I'm sorry.
Сейчас мне расскажи, пожалуйста,
Tell me,
после того, как ты увидел отношение местного населения Украины.
when you saw the treatment of Ukrainians,
Некоторые из них русскоязычные, и
some of them
приходится
spoke Russian, I'm
на
sure.
российском языке, чтобы вы их не убивали на нашей же земле. Ты увидел, что они спокойно живут себе.
You saw that they live there peacefully. I'm sure some of them ask you to get out of our land, not stop killing people.
Какой ты сделал вывод?
What conclusion did you make?
Я сделал один единственный вывод.
I made a single conclusion that
Развязано Владимиром Владимировичем Путиным.
war is done by
Совершенно
Putin
далека от тех целей, которые
and is
доносит.
far from
Это оккупационная и жестокая война.
goals that we were told. This is occupationary and very violent war
Не щадящее немирное население,
that does not
жизни и здоровья
care
Российской Федерации, граждан Украины.
about anyone, civilians on both sides, military on both sides.
Но при том, что ты занимаешь должность командира батальона,
Since you're the leader, commander
и
of the
понимая
battalion,
всю
and understand
суть ситуация в том, что
the situation
оккупанты пришли на нашу территорию и
that you invaded our territory and started the war?
В 2022 году, убивая мирное население, пуская
Killing civilians,
ты это все прекрасно
shooting missiles.
осознавал, то, что
You understood all of that?
часть нашей территории.
That you took part of our territory. You still continued performing your duties.
Генерального штаба, и в том числе и Министерства обороны.
And Ministry of
Скажи мне,
Defense.
пожалуйста,
And orders of Ministry of Defense.
как ты
Tell me
после этого,
how,
понимая то, что ты точно
after this,
ты
that
это
you
уж точно осознал, то, что вы проиграли
understood this, that you're gonna lose this war?
Как ты с этой мыслью брал
How-
своему личному составу,
How would this thought you were lying to your soldiers
да, посылал их на задачи, на
and
которых они
was sending them to fight and die for no reason?
очень быстро умирали или попадали в плен? Как тебе с этим жилось и живется?
How do you live with it?
Это на самом деле очень тяжело.
It was difficult, blah blah blah. Don't care about this fucker, okay? Boring. Interesting information about his battalion, the numbers, how many dudes died. 25 to 30% in a couple of weeks. Sounds good, bro. Not enough, of course, but it'd be a lot cooler if there were more, but you know. Oh well. It's okay. If we get more shells, there's gonna be more dead Russians.
This factory in Pennsylvania is making Ukraine's most important ammunition.
Oh yeah? What a coincidence.
155mm rounds are basically giant bullets used in artillery guns. The Scranton Army Ammunition Plant has been making steel shells since 1953. And today, demand is so high that it's making 11,000 of them every month.
Why do they
Ukraine
paint
may be
them?
firing more than
Is it
half
really
of that
necessary?
each day.
Снарядів ніколи не буде вистачати.
So, there's a global shortage. Some experts are concerned that the U.S.
Can't you extrapolate the number of an approximate number of 1 to 55mm howitzers by the amount of shells we expend constantly? Can somebody autistic do that, please?
is burning through its own supply. So why is
Preventing
this
rust? I see.
particular artillery ammo so important in Ukraine? And how is the U.S. arming them during the shortage?
Those
At the
shells
start
look
of the
shiny
war,
as fuck.
air
though.
power was expected to be the key to a Russian victory. They outnumbered Ukraine in military aircrafts 10 to 1. But Ukraine found ways to shoot down Russia's warplanes and defend against its missile attacks.
That's not necessarily a full story. One of the reasons why Russia couldn't use their full aviation potential is that because their potential was vastly overestimated. They do have apparently a lot of planes, but a lot of those planes are not in the condition to be flown. New planes are not battle tested, and Russia doesn't use any Su-57s or some shit. Which most likely, let's be real, it's probably the old plane just with a new body. They just propaganda bullshit. They don't have a lot of pilots, and Russia is not capable, not that we're capable of that either, but Russia is not capable of performing complex air operations. I would say that only a couple of countries in the world are capable of that. Complex air operations are extremely difficult. You need a lot of flight time, you need a lot of training and stuff like that to do. So Russia could have 1 million planes. They wouldn't be able to use all of them anyway.
Pivoted to massive artillery strikes. The problem was most of Ukraine's artillery weapons dated back to the Soviet era. They required ammunition produced mostly by Russia and its supporters, China and North Korea. So Ukraine called on the US and its NATO allies for aid. The US alone sent Ukraine about 200 artillery guns that required ammo they already had in stock, 155mm rounds. Now, they're one of Ukraine's most critical weapons. 155s are the perfect balance between power and weight. They're shot from howitzers, which are basically a cannon and mortar combined. These massive guns fire shells high up into the air so that they drop down onto their targets. 155mm rounds are small enough to fire up to 20 miles, but still do serious damage. They're packed with 24 pounds of TNT and explode on impact, sending deadly shrapnel in all directions. They're also less expensive than fancier weapons. Javelin anti-tank missiles can cost as much as $78,000, and these shells sell for as little as $800.
Damn, $800, nice.
The Scranton Army Ammunition Plant builds the steel shells for the US's most basic 155mm round, the M795. The US is producing 24,000
Look how shiny they are.
almost double what it was making before Russia invaded Ukraine. And nearly half of that supply comes from this factory. Everything starts in the billet yard. Workers move steel rods to the next phase, the forge shop.
I'm gonna move my steel rod into the
rods
next
into
phase.
14-inch long chunks called billets.
Efficiency is key to speed.
Then they heat them for an hour at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
2,000?
This softens them up so they're easy to shape.
You couldn't possibly forge a billet at room temperature. We're basically turning the steel into Play-Doh.
Then machines stretch and shape the billets into their final form. Another one adds a nose, which makes it aerodynamic.
It comes into the press, it's still a tube. As it leaves the press, it's now a projectile.
They're inspected and then fed to the production shop. Then the grand finale. Workers reheat the billets.
They're
they're
making more.
6,000-gallon oil bath. After some final lathing and polishing, workers hang the shells on hooks. Then they get a fresh paint job. The entire process takes about 3 days. After the shells are done, they take a truck ride to another factory that adds TNT. Then they're ready for the battlefield. It's there that soldiers will add the fuse and turn it into a lethal bomb. 155s have been used by the US and its allies since World War I. They were small enough to hit targets up to 7 miles away, but packed enough power to penetrate enemy trenches.
United Nations guns go into action against
United Nations guns.
After World War II, 155mm became the standard artillery size for NATO countries. Today, the US has rounds equipped with GPS guidance systems that cost over $100,000 per shell. Since the war began, all the NATO allies have sent Ukraine some form of military aid. They've donated tanks, anti-aircraft guns, rocket launchers, and missile defense systems. But the US tops the list. They've sent roughly $42 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine. While expensive weapons like these make headlines, it's artillery that Ukraine is using more than anything. This past spring, Ukrainian forces were firing up to 8,000 155mm shells a day. According to a June report, Germany sent Ukraine so many shells that it had about 20,000 left in its stockpile. That's enough only for a few days of intensive combat. Critics are worried the same thing could happen to the United States.
What we need
No
most of
shot.
all is artillery shells. And we're in short supply, we're working on that.
The US has sent more than 2 million 155mm rounds to Ukraine. But most of that came from its own stockpile, which it uses to train soldiers and aid other allies. While the true status of the nation's stockpile is a closely guarded secret, some experts are concerned that it could be running low.
The scale of Ukrainian need versus American capacity to...
I don't believe that for a second, bro. America is not fucking Russia, you know? America is like, oh, we don't have a lot of shells left. In reality, it's probably a lot. Russia is exactly the opposite.
build are very different.
The US has already borrowed 500,000 155mm shells from South Korea to help resupply its own stockpile. It's also turned to Japan for more TNT.
We've hit the level at which the Pentagon planners are uncomfortable going any lower
because of the demands for other war plans.
The Army has spent billions updating its factories to make more 155s. They want to make 85,000 shells per month by 2028, over 3 times the current output. But it could still take years to refill the stockpile.
You need to hire people. You need more of the steel to build the shells. You need to have a larger factory space. You have to follow all of the safety requirements because each of these has to meet a military specification for usage and have to go through the inspection process.
In July 2023, the US announced its decision to send Ukraine a controversial type of 155
Not controversial, shut the fuck
equipped
up,
with
moron.
cluster bombs.
Controversial, my
has also
balls.
Each shell contains 88 small explosives,
Nice,
or
let's go.
bomblets, that are released in midair. They can cover
Beautiful.
an area up to 7 acres.
Can you
and
imagine
destroy
being in the
everything
epicenter of
from
that shit?
trenches to tanks. But these rounds are banned in over 120 countries because the bomblets sometimes fail to explode on impact and harm civilians who find them later on. 94% of recorded cluster bomb deaths are civilians, and almost 40% of those are children.
Don't worry, we'll change that
The US
statistic.
has already sent thousands to Ukraine in its latest $800 million military aid package in July. President Biden has said that the cluster bombs are only a temporary solution. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said a lack of ammunition is what's keeping his military from reclaiming Russian-occupied territory more quickly. But the US Army says its goals for increasing its 155 output are on pace. That's good for Ukraine, as it could be the difference in taking back their country. In June, they launched a counteroffensive against Russian troops. They tried to break Russian defenses with heavy tanks at first.
I'm not saying anyone is imagining it. The problem is when the enemy uses cluster munitions and mine your territory with other mines, it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
But switched their strategy to artillery fire. It's been moving slowly.
Also, we're using them in the fucking fields, not in the fucking cities and shit.
So they'll need plenty of shells for the long haul.
I have an interesting stat about how much of Ukraine is actually mined the fuck out. So.
Ой, місія. Головне, щоб були снаряди, а все решта ми зробимо самі.
Russians getting cluster bombed while retreating. Ooh. Controversial, yeah, bro. Like, you know what's controversial? Fucking lobbing fucking missiles into the civilian high rises. Oh my god, beautiful, holy shit, let's go. They just run, they don't even fucking, oh my god, what is this video? Is this real? They're like fucking ants, kill them, stomp them all. They just run through the road. Is everything else mined? Is that the way they're afraid? Oh my god, don't let them escape. Bomb them now. Kill 'em! Bro, let's go, dude. What would 3 million shells look like stored in one location? Interesting, I don't know. I bet we can generate an AI image of that. Alright, what do we have here?
Hello, beautiful.
I don't know where the first part is, but this is a part of an intense footage of the Ukrainian soldier of the 3rd Assault Brigade storming Russian positions in the tree line near Klishchiivka.
Короче.
Alright, he says.
Ідем.
Даю
there's
інформацію, група з 4 людей зараз відправиться назад на метрів 30-40 і буде чесати посадку в сторону підерів Пекіча. Там можуть бути 1-2 якісь одиночні зайця підери десь засіли. Що у вас по БК? Там можуть бути підери. Ми заходимо в посадку, розтягуємося в лінію.
Тобто в лінію тут?
В лінію. От заходимо і ниряємо, стаємо в лінію. От посадка, от ми. І йдемо сюди. Пулемет зверху.
Все, погнали.
БК є? Все, в мене теж є. От все, фу-фу. Погон, ми рушимо. Вистраюся!
It's been raining.
Здавайся, підарас, жить будеш! В лінію, дальше.
Здавайся!
Направление на фронт. Сектор, направление на фронт. Чешем. Сдавайся, пидорас!
Damn.
Погон, ми рушили по посадці.
Always moving so slow because you gotta look under your feet.
Спину, дивіться. Плюс прийняв. Плюс, бачу вірного. Сюда! Прямо! Направление на фронт! Быстрей! Вперед! Метрів 20! Давай! Вперед! Погон з ПКМ, метрів 30 від нас. Работать з пулемета. Забирай 300. Тут потрібна група Дацика. Ми не можемо евакуювати вірного. Там є точка. Контакт. У нас 300. Шацьк. Тебе пуліве куди?
В ногу в'їбали, я біжу, кажу, я біжу до вірного.
Він був живий?
Що?
Живий був?
Вірний?
Ні. Точно.
Не дихав, я не бачу.
Один, француз. Дуб, француз на зв'язок. Вірний. Не дихав. Шацьк получив пульове в ногу при спробі евакуювати вірного. Як прийняв. Жите туди, я тут остаюсь, прикриваю. Нас зверху прикривають, як ви поняли, блядь. Поняв?
Я понял, да. Хлопці нас там стріляють.
Ти біжиш, просто біжиш, вони в тій стороні посадки, вам просто бігти, я тут буду насипати, погон буде насипати, і ультас буде насипати, ви поняли? Це треба швидко зробити, забігти назад в окопи. По команді насипайте всього, з чого є, будуть хлопці просто на пахуях перебігати на холм.
Not gays, guys. Jesus Christ. We've been making these subs.
Готові, починайте,
So far it's been...
починайте.
Alright. Damn, bro. I wonder what was the first part of the video. A body cam footage from Russian in the Zaporizhia front line. These are Russians in the trench on the camera. Wow, scopes on guns? Somalian style shooting over here. He's shooting the trees, guys. They're in the trees. It's super, by the way, it's super nice of them that they dug out a grave for them already. Bro, one grenade, these fuckers are gone. Just in the foxhole. Damn. Right. The occupiers have begun attacking Ukraine with their own made Shahid drones, writes the British research group Conflict Armament Research. Yeah, it was incoming. After examining the two downed UAVs, analysts noticed the electronic modules that Russia uses to build its reconnaissance drones. Experts have identified about 100 components in more than 30 modules in downed drones. Their manufacturers were 22 companies from 7 countries, including Russia. Footage of the restoration of the border sign on Snake Island.
Сьогодні, 12 серпня 2023 року, військовослужбовцями Ізмаїльського прикордонного загону за повної підтримки військовослужбовців Головного управління розвідки Міністерства оборони України відновлено історичну справедливість. Встановлено прикордонний знак на
Bro, this is gonna keep happening everywhere on our territory, okay?
Попередній, який стояв тут до повномасштабного вторгнення, був нахабно знищений російськими окупантами.
The previous one was destroyed by shelling. You know what Snake Island was used for pre-war? Snakes? I don't know. Probably like unironically same shit as right now. Like we had a station there. It was like a whole complex.
Наступний прикордонний знак буде встановлений в нашому українському Криму після його звільнення силами оборони України.
It says we will install the next sign in the fucking Crimea when we're gonna liberate it. Fucking based. Let's go.
Ми пам'ятаємо кожного, хто звільняв остров Зміїний. Пам'ятаємо кожного, хто звільняє наш кожний
Siren.
з землі.
Whatever. Alright, fire in Russia, love it. Warehouse, one of the local companies is on fire in Russia. That's a good fire, dude. Black smoke, nice. A lot of fires in Russia, you know? There it is. That's nice. The armed forces of Ukraine have made tactically significant progress in the counteroffensive, writes New York Times, citing analysts. According to the newspaper assessment, the armed forces of Ukraine took control of 16 to 20 kilometers of territory in the direction of Berdyansk and Melitopol. Slowly, but surely. There's still no changes in Robotina. It says enemy leaves урожайне. Is this wait, what? Where's the I can't move. I can't switch the dates? Why? Why can't I switch dates? Bottom right? Oh, fucking Christ. Okay, my bad. Aha. Урожайне. Was that the road the Russians were running? That got cluster shelled or nah? Yeah? That's a decent. Well, I don't know. Okay. There's nothing over here. Okay. Bakhmut is stationary. Luhansk is stationary. Okay. This fucking hilarious scope. Trump believes his chances of defeating Biden in 2024 elections are close to 100%. Surely. Bigly. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if this is interesting, but the main thing about the F-16s and who can transfer them to Ukraine. For the deoccupation of our lands, 48 fighters are for 4 squadrons are needed. This is stated in the Ministry of Defense, although even 2 or 3 can help solve a number of problems. Drive away from the borders the aviation of the Russian Federation, which launches their air bombs, shoot down drones and other aircraft missiles. Help the formations in the offensive and defensive. Today, the US alone has hundreds of F-16s. In Europe, Romania, Portugal, Poland, Denmark, Belgium, and the Netherlands have them as well. The last 3 can be potential donors to our country. After all, they're moving to the 5th generation of aircraft. The Netherlands has 42 F-16s. Of these, 24 are in service. You cannot count on them until mid-2024. Until they are replaced by the F-35s, another 18 pieces were wanted to be sold to Draken in 2021, but this spring it became known that the deal was cancelled. Delivery to Ukraine now looks like a realistic scenario. Denmark should receive up to 17 F-35s by the end of 2023. In theory, they can supply us with a squadron of F-16s, 12 aircraft. In total, Denmark has 77 F-16s, but as of 2016, there were about 30 in service. They're also planned to be replaced by F-35s. Vatniks are claiming the Russians took Kupiansk. That is a gigacope. That is a gigacope. These are... Okay. Armed forces of Ukraine destroyed 4 self-propelled guns Msta-S from HIMARS in the Donetsk region. Damn, just four missiles, 4 hits. That is beautiful, man. That's fucking beautiful. Holy shit. That, man. Can you just imagine, bro? It's not like Russia doesn't have anything like this. Like when our guys are shooting and all of a sudden there's shells flying at them. They are running into trenches, and yes, the howitzer on our side can be destroyed, but our guys are gonna be safe. Russia doesn't have anything like this. But on their side, it's, you don't even hear it. It just hits you. There's no previous hits. You don't know that you're gonna get hit. It just hits right where you are. And you're done. You don't have time to react. You don't have time to do anything. That's scary fucking shit, bro. Just thinking, just knowing that this can happen to you at any moment in time. And you wouldn't even know. You instantly dead. Bro, that's mentally insane strain on you. Russian truck convoy with military V and Z markings is no longer mobile after a HIMARS strike. Every truck is full of little holes. I think we saw this. It's an older video, right? Or is this 3 hours ago? There's all wheels on this side. The gas tank is not completely fucked, but I won't be able to open it. Windows. Damn, like through butter. Yeah.
Так, следующее. Раз, два, три, четыре.
So what, it just exploded over them and that's it? And they all like completely destroyed from the inside. That's beautiful, bro. It's a kind of damage you can't do anything about. That's bro, that's fucking crazy. I don't think we saw this one actually. Through everything, bro. It just went through everything. It seems like it exploded over them.
Тут пацаны были. Нет, это 654. А вон где пацаны были.
That's great, bro.
Тоже раздула кабину. Тут вообще живого места нет. Все посечено в точку.
Because everything is sprayed. That's beautiful. Blood everywhere. Pog. Good. Good. Kill him. Great stuff, bro. Great stuff. I got something red in my face? Yeah, I scratched myself. Okay. Next. What do we have next? Jam? How do you need to eat jam that is gonna like go beyond your fucking, like lick it through the fucking jar or some shit? There was a hit in Belgorod today. Drop the base. That's a fairly small drone, bro. They're saying it's a drone. The Latvian government supported joining the G7 countries' declaration of long-term support for Ukraine. The country's cabinet of ministers reported. Nice. Well done. Well done. So here's the situation. A resident of Donetsk entered into a skirmish with the invaders from Buryatia in one of the cafes in the city. The woman was detained. And then I'll show you the reaction of typical Russians for this situation. It says, you fucking fight here, you take money, you fucking shut your fucking mouth, smelly fuck. Shut your fucking mouth. Remember what I'm gonna say. You weren't here and you will never be here. Never. These fucking smelly cunts. You will never be here in Donetsk. Never. We don't need your fucking Moscow, fucking Paris, fucking bullshit, okay? That you came in here. Why you need this for? What do you mean why I need this for? It says I live here. I live here. I have like shops and a home here. Why do you need this?
Зайчка моя,
This is why you bothering us? This is why did you come here to fucking earn money? What's your deal about it? Because what did you do in Russia? Did you have like goats or something? Were you like shepherding goats? What's your education? You fucking sheep fucks. Why are you insulting us? And if you're gonna come in here, I'm seriously saying, if you're gonna be here, it says when the guys are gonna come back from war, we're gonna fuck you over. Alright, thanks. Says girls say, do you want to see these fuckers here? In Donetsk? Of course not. You're just sitting there in your fucking holes with fucking mules and shit. No education. They allowed you here only because you have nothing and you're nobody. Okay. Then she makes an apology.
Я, Апухтина Наталья Алексеевна, 12 августа.
Blah blah blah. And here's what Russians are saying. Fucking fascist, kill this bitch, take her shops and everything she has, remove her from the country, and all the money that you take from her, give to the special military operation. What's the word when you're like, yeah, bitch, fucking bitch, drunk animal. She says, yeah, drunk, yeah. Typical Russian reaction, right? For a person who's not happy about the occupiers. Holy fucking shit. It's okay. We're gonna get those fuckers from there, dude. Niger is open to diplomacy to prevent war with ECOWAS, Western African Regional Bloc troops, said a group of Nigerian delegates who met with junta officials in Niamey. Wait, they pussied out? What's up? Why they pussied out, bro? Okay. Whatever. I'm sure they're gonna figure out the best possible solution to that, right? There's an interesting stats on the about the mines. The armed forces of Ukraine dig up 5 mines for every square meter installed by the occupiers, says Reznikov. Today, Ukraine is the most mined country in the world. Hundreds of kilometers of minefields are a serious obstacle for our troops, but not insurmountable. At this stage of the deoccupation campaign, we desperately need more equipment for demining. Fucking cunts. And the thing is, they know their mining territory. They know that civilians gonna die, animals gonna die. They know that, and they know that it's gonna take years to demine all of that shit. They just don't give a fuck. Just don't care. France will continue to train the Ukrainian military despite the fact that it has already achieved its goal of 6,000 troops for this year, Armed Forces Minister Sébastien Lecornu says. Good. Good. Zelensky says the smoke on the Crimean bridge is evidence that Ukraine will not leave any crime of Russia unanswered. Only from the beginning of this day until 6 in the evening, there was already 17 reports of shelling in the Kherson region alone. We will not leave any Russian crime unanswered. Rashist brutally hit the Kherson region. There are dead and there are wounded people. Bro, it's like imagine in your country there's a terroristic act every day with destruction of property, and deaths of civilians. Isn't that insane? Like every fucking day. Like, you know, there's like, what was the last thing in New York? Some dude exploded a car, or like, what did he do? Like some makeshift fucking explosives exploded in the small, like in between the buildings or some shit. And it was like big fucking, it was like big news and stuff.
Whelp a rabbit.
Livestock to demine, bro, that's a little bit inhumane, don't you think? Holy shit. Oh, I had a video open, and it says now video is private, video is unavailable in one of my tabs. What the fuck is this? What is this supposed to mean, bro? Should have fucking watched it, I guess. Goddamn. Okay, missed content. Now I wanna watch it, dude. It's inhumane because livestock is inhumane. I mean, bro, is that really effective though? Wouldn't it be better to just use anti-mine equipment? Big rollers with fucking metal wheels that, you know. Does the job. Vlad, new video 1 hour ago.
You're very well.
Damn, 32 minutes? Ah, not today, bro. That's too long. Tomorrow, maybe? What is this one? We didn't watch this one. Next phase of Ukraine's drone war. You don't like Vlad? Why don't you like him? He's extremely smart individual. He is a political philosopher from Oxford with a PhD. Credentials speak for themselves. What the fuck? I mean, he may be a little bit... He's definitely dry. He's dry, but information like... When you know what he's... Like, who he is... I feel like that's...
The community are very welcome to this chat about the potentially escalating drone attacks on Russian territory. How
he predicted... We watched him from a while back. He predicts a lot of stuff.
To think about them, right? As they come to constitute as kind of a minor, but nevertheless...
I wouldn't say... Not necessarily... First of all, I would disagree with Ramble. I feel like he drives his points well. He's a good... You know, interlocutor. Also, his views are not just interesting, they're correct. They're prophetic in some sort of way.
Front. And what to expect in terms of the politicization of that depoliticized blob in the middle in Russia if these attacks continue and escalate. So let's just put a little bit of context here. First of all, what's the big story? I think the big story, as a kind of a canvas against which I'd cast the drone attacks on Russian territory, is the story of Ukraine potentially needing to face the reality of a long war. A long war might not happen. I mean, the possibility that something dramatic changes in the next 6 months is not entirely unavailable. But the West is supporting Ukraine to the level of independence plus, as I call it, not to the level of a victory, which doesn't mean Ukraine can't get a victory, but it certainly means that that victory would be an achievement well in excess of what Ukraine has been prepped.
Well, no need to insult him, but...
And maybe,
you know,
that kind of achievement would have to be dependent on some kind of unexpected and catastrophic Russian collapse. Now, second, the preponderance of military expert opinion is, again, relatively cautious about Ukraine's capacity for dramatic success with the counteroffensive. And the less remarkable the results of the counteroffensive are, the more compelling that lever of taking the war onto the Russian soil, Russian territory will be for Ukraine. We've talked about this before. So I think there is a kind of a connection there.
So Russians want their military to lose,
war
basically.
on Russian soil makes much more sense.
They should want it.
Makes much more sense as an eventuality in the context of Ukraine potentially needing to readjust to a longer war.
Well, rambling
ethics
is
of
when
this we've
you're
already
saying
discussed. I
stuff
recommend
without
you to
making a
think about
point,
it
right?
Beyond justice and injustice, right? Ukraine taking the war into Russian territory is a kind of necessity. It is a byproduct of an existential war for national survival. Now, what are the politicizing capabilities of these actions? Now, we know that the majority of the Russian population is in a radically depoliticized state. And we know that that depoliticization is not disinterest in politics, it is positive resistance to politics. We know that it is not disinterest in being informed, it is positive resistance to being informed beyond a certain point, having already been informed enough to know that you don't want to get any more informed than you are, because that would put one in a quite impossible position of having to admit two things: that one's arrangement with politics, or at least the arrangement one's ended up in with politics, has become so catastrophic and tragic that, I mean, it's just absolutely unimaginable.
Well, he has some notes, I would
your
assume,
arrangement
right?
with politics is so bad that what you thought was relatively benign is causing regional havoc, global havoc, and death and destruction, and spiraling your country into a kind of oblivion, if not disintegration. And so that's the first thing you have to face, that your arrangement with politics has ended in disaster. And the second thing you have to face is that in your depoliticized state, you don't see any solutions to this, right? So there is this, as Greg Uden likes to say, catastrophic failure of capacity for normative thought. Russians cannot imagine an alternative Russia. The degree to which they can't do that is utterly extraordinary. They can't. And if one could imagine it, and if one could be helped into it, if one were a Russian, what one would want next is an account of agency, of how one begins to move toward the realization of that goal. Who should do how and what and when and what, blah, 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 by what means and so on. All of that is missing. And so hence there is evasion. Now, so far the nature of the attacks is important to specify. It's minor. It's qualitatively different to seeing even just a few kinjals a month above your head. It's totally different. So what you've got now
for now
is not likely to dramatically create one or another kind of politicization if it sustains for a long period of time. I think the level of droning of Moscow at the moment can be normalized, even if it lasted years. This changes if the scale is different and if there are numbers of civilian casualties, right? This would be more likely to create depoliticized action, Russians running away from Moscow, and maybe some politicization. But you would need a lot of damage and destruction for some politicization that's significant to occur. Whether one's talking about radicalization of people who are already favorably disposed to the war, whether one's talking about people becoming favorably disposed who are depoliticized, or whether people who are depoliticized just being thrown into some kind of greater confrontation with the political reality they face. Now, let's do a kind of a recreation of how the depoliticized blob might feel about it. But before that, let me make one more sort of pub-level prediction. So just like we have this sort of pub-level prediction about a longer war and a limitedly successful counteroffensive leading to Ukraine escalating more.
That's a bad prediction. I disagree.
So another prediction is that a pub-level prediction here. I'm not saying this in my capacity as a political philosopher. Is that it sure as hell makes sense to expect a much bigger attack on Moscow in the weeks and months to come. Surely. So that's a completely reasonable expectation to have. We might even get more attacks on the Kremlin. That's something else I want to put on the table. It's
good start of the week.
We've seen on Russian soil. I think if I put it now at that level of generality, it becomes less of a pub and becomes more of an adequate prediction. Whatever we have seen, right, it is bound to escalate, capacity allowing on the Ukrainian side. So let's do a little recreation for the depoliticized blob.
Can you stop using broken emotes, bro? Just use 7TV, please, for God's sake.
Let's say it's Moscow, and let's say that I'm a Russian, which I'm not really, and let's say I'm a depoliticized Russian.
Cake works.
My neighbor Ricky. Did you see the drone earlier? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I think it's the third one I've seen so far. Unbelievable what kind of stuff is going on out of our windows, right? Okay, I'll speak to you later, Ricky. Bye. Hi, Susanna. So, I suppose the name should be Russian. Hi, Susanna. It's absolute horror what's going on, isn't it? There's like stuff in our sky. What do they think they're doing, these politicians? I think they're losing the plot completely. I mean, I think they're out of control. I have no idea what is going on. I mean, maybe they know what they're doing, but I mean, it just doesn't look good. I think they just can't sort it out. I mean, maybe it's because they've got themselves into this, whatever they've got themselves into in Ukraine. Maybe that's what's going on. They're out of their depth there.
A-tier acting.
I mean, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So you see, this reflection is cyclical, and it never fully breaks out into, this is a direct product of something deeply unacceptable that my regime is doing, that is a gross violation of not just our neighbors, but of us too. These people are...
Yeah, Russians treat drone attacks in Moscow and stuff like that as if it's like yet another sanction or yet another thing that is like, oh, ruble is $100 is 100 rubles. Oh, that's shitty. Oh, well, drone strikes the same, right?
But these drones are metaphors of...
Unless, like I feel like prediction from Vlad is very interesting here. If it is indeed just a matter of time until we're gonna launch a big attack on Moscow with a lot of drones, that's the reason we've been sending a couple of drones to see what's up about their air defense. If we are gonna do a big attack, it would be interesting how they would react to it. Like some real destruction, some real buildings being destroyed, some people being dead, right? What is the reaction then? Will Kremlin try to downplay everything, not to make people panic? There's going to be no sirens in the cities. People are going to be outraged that there's no even like sirens or anything like that.
Devastation.
Will they be outraged that anti-air did not destroy everything from the sky?
In Ukraine.
I think if it's gonna be like massive and big destruction, I think there should be some reaction.
Country, the culprit, spiraling into a sort of a future without a future. So this cyclicality, and you can hear it when you engage with Russians. See what's going on in the sky, and what you shouldn't underestimate is, of course, is fear and a sort of a real instinct to get through this story with their back to it, avoiding a confrontation with the regime by any means possible. And that means sort of often, as Kirill Rogov likes to say, picking, wonderful Russian expert, picking one's own salad. Well, this is actually me saying it. Kirill Rogov says that you pick the least unpalatable narrative the government spins about this and kind of go with it. Or you could say, as I was just about, you pick a kind of a self-selected salad about what's going on out of government narratives that you feel like you're not in confrontation with the regime. So yeah, it's completely cyclical. It's the horror in the sky, and if it's got a political cause, it's because the politicians are crazy. Maybe they're crazy everywhere. Maybe ours are much crazier, but like, what are we going to do about that? So that's where we are for now. But the global picture is that this is part of a longer war, and this is an absolutely essential lever for Ukraine that Ukraine will be pulling to the maximum of its capacity if the war grinds.
That's the only qualification that I don't like. When he says, if the war grinds, we're going to pull the lever of fucking going full on fucking Russian soil.
Into a long...
I wish we would just do it just for the lol, bro.
Ukraine is desperate to avoid, but looks like it won't be able to on the current evidence. Lots of love.
All right, I have something interesting. Okay, last time, remember, last time we had ChatGPT trying to determine the views, personal beliefs, and stuff like that, right? So I have a couple of more interesting things for you. Okay. So last time we were figuring out like philosophical, like philosophy took us the longest, right? Philosophical beliefs, but we only ventured into some epistemic positions, right? You bought a book on philosophy after that stream? Seriously? Oh, that's interesting. So epistemology, epistemology is where the knowledge comes from. It's a philosophical like idea to try and determine where the knowledge comes from. And my position was that of empiricism, believing that knowledge for humans comes primarily from sensory experience. Therefore, the knowledge, in my opinion, kind of exists in the universe, in the world, right? The knowledge kind of exists there, and we interact with the systems, interact with those things, interpret those things using our like language and stuff like that, and our thought process, and we decide to interact with it. That's kind of like my position, right? So the next thing that is interesting, could be interesting to talk about and figure out, is ontology. Okay, ontology. So ontology deals with profound and abstract concepts, and ontology is like a branch of philosophy that deals with nature of existence, being, and reality, right? It's all about understanding what kinds of things exist, how they exist, and their relationships between that, right? For example, the questions could be like, what is the nature of existence? What is the difference between physical and mental entities? How do abstract concepts like number, ideas exist, blah, blah, blah. So I asked ChatGPT to ask me 10 questions about ontology so we can figure out our positions around this. So let's take a look. So the first question is about ontology. Do you believe that everything that exists is physical, or do you think that there are non-physical entities like minds, souls, or abstract concepts that also have real existence? What do you guys think? I thought about this before, kind of not in a scope of a question like this, but rather in a scope of like if I believe in like metaphysical stuff, and my kind of like blanket opinion is that I don't really believe in soul. I don't believe in ghosts and fucking all that fucking metaphysical bullshit, okay? I don't kind of believe that. I feel like those are simply products of our imagination that we use to describe some concepts that we don't fully understand. And since we don't fully understand it, we need to describe it somehow, and we kind of came up with the words for it. Any idea what they mean by minds? I think maybe they mean like ideas. Here he means like abstract concepts as well. So my understanding would be the following, is that do like things It's actually difficult. Let me actually, because I understand definitely souls, and maybe I a little bit understand of abstract concepts, but that's a good question. Let me just, can you explain mean by minds and concepts having real existence? Okay, I need to copy this message or whatever. Okay, minds. The question of whether minds have real existence separate from physical bodies is a fundamental issue in philosophy of mind. Some believe that the mind is entirely physical, such as the brain and its functions. Others argue that mental states like thoughts, beliefs, and consciousness are non-physical and cannot be fully explained by physical processes alone. Ah, I see. This viewpoint is known as dualism, and it posits what is it? That the mind has a real existence independent of the body. Yeah, that sounds like something I would not believe in. Abstract concepts like numbers, geometric shapes, or moral values are non-physical objects that can be touched or seen, but do they really exist? Some philosophers known as realists argue that these abstract entities exist independently of human thought. For example, the number 3 would exist if no humans were around to think about it. Others, called nominalists, believe that abstract concepts are just names for symbols that humans use to describe patterns and relationship in the world, that they don't have an independent existence. So I also... so you don't believe in dualism. Do you think there's any free will? I don't think so. I don't think that free will is a real thing. I think that there's a question about that as well. So, but let's go through question by question, right? Where was it? So the first question. Regarding first, here are my answers. Let's just go through the question. So I do believe that everything that exists is physical, and I do not believe that there are like definitely the concepts of that are real concepts. What makes them real is that what other people know them, other people can refer to them, and I would say that other people could also come to those conclusions independently of others, right? If we have like different nations developing in different parts of the world and never communicating, they would have a lot of similarities, language, mathematics, art, and stuff like that. But I think it's more of a product because we are one species rather than, and our brain functioning in a similar manner, rather than, there's also like this concept of like society intelligence, which means that, you know, it's not only you individually can get smarter, but you can push the society to be smarter as well. And kind of that's how development happens, right, on a bigger scale. So I think it's a very easy answer. I don't really know of a good argument against this, that everything that exists is physical. We can measure it, we can see it, we can touch it, we can interact with it, and I feel like it kind of goes well with my empiricism beliefs, that everything, that knowledge that we gain is coming through contact with the world that surrounds us. Unless anyone has any arguments against that, let's move on to the second question. What do you think about the nature of time? Is it something real that flows, or is it just a human-made concept to describe change? Now this is I mean, all of these are like kind of difficult questions, right? But isn't it true that photons don't really experience the concept of time? Through their perspective, everything is kind of stationary, right? They move so quickly that everything around them is just frozen in place. So it seems like, I don't know what that means. Human brain is based on entropy. I don't know what that means. Can you explain? It seems like would time be something real because change would happen anyways? I mean, I feel like time is like a very different concept depending on the observer, right? It's like we feel time, right? But it seems like when we get older, we don't feel time as much. Everything just kind of passes quicker and quicker, and you kind of lose track of it, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that time does not exist necessarily, right? But I feel like it is definitely, like, time is definitely a concept that describes change, but does time exist outside of that? I mean, nothing is stationary, right? So, but can you call it time? I would say it's more of a change. That everything is ever changing, but is it on a time scale? Does time exist? You know, I feel like it's a very weird kind of question, because if it's a concept that describes change and everything is changing, couldn't you say that time is, let me just ask it, you know? About the nature of time. If time is a human-made concept to describe change, and the universe is in the constant, it's not constant, but perpetual state of change, couldn't you say that time does exist? The nature of time is a deep and intriguing philosophical question. Let's break down the idea you're proposing. Time as a description of change. Time is understood as a human-made concept to describe change. It serves as a framework for ordering events. In this view, time doesn't exist as a physical entity in itself, but is a way for humans to make sense of perpetual state of the change of the universe. Okay. Perpetual state of if the universe is indeed in a constant state of flux and transformation, some argue that this very change requires a notion of time to describe it. Change seems to imply a before and after, and this ordering is what we mean by time. But this is what kind of I missed when I was thinking about it, because I was thinking about time is as a thing that just goes into one direction, but technically we can recall events from the past, and we can say that in our experience, time can also flow backwards, but on the in a physics perspective, right? It doesn't flow backwards. Like, time travel is possible forwards, but not backwards. So from this perspective, I would say that for us, it is important, the concept of time is important if it isn't, because it is used to order things, or also recall things to make certain conclusions for like chemicals and atoms and electrons or anything like that. They don't need the previous thing, right? They don't care about that. They only care about what is now, and that's about it, right? So like when you mix like some solutions or some shit, right? I'm not really good with chemistry. So let's say you're mixing two different solutions, and then when you mix it, it produces a different one. That solution doesn't, like, you can't really reverse. You know, you can't like mix it backwards and reverse the thing. There is a solution where you can do that, but it's like, it's a little bit, it works differently. It doesn't actually mixes. A memory recall is not going back in time. No, well, we explain it as a concept, right? Like, we can recall things that happened previously, but it seems like outside of our, outside of like animal activity or whatever, or like brain activity, because it's like a marker for survival, right? You need memory to understand what is going on around you, to understand how the world works and survive, right? So all animals have memory of different like capabilities, but still. But the universe itself, it doesn't really have a memory, right? So if in the universe, the only thing that matters is the now, then there's no really concept of time. It's just now in the universe. We are universe too. I feel like, are we though? I feel like we're a little bit more than that. I wouldn't say that like universe is planning things, or universe is like, you know, recalling things and chooses different outcomes. I don't think it works like that, right? So I would say that here's what my answer would be. I wonder what, maybe I just should ask it. What does it think about my interpretation? So from the human perspective, time is real, since we can recall things. I don't know if this explains it well. Recall things and change our future decisions, influence outcomes. Perhaps we can plan things in the future. But for the universe, no such decisions are made based on past or possible future events. From universe perspective, there is only now. Therefore, time does not really exist by itself. Does this make sense? Universe still goes through the change? Yeah, but it only goes through the change because we remember what it was previously. But I don't think universe has memory. I don't know, what is it gonna say? Does it fucking make sense? I mean, it's super, this fucking thing agrees very often, so. Okay, your explanation does make sense and aligns with some philosophical perspectives on time. Here's a breakdown of two viewpoints. From the human perspective, for humans, time appears very real. We experience life as a series of moments and use our understanding of time to recall the past, make decisions in the present, and plan for the future. This temporal awareness is fundamental to our existence and how we navigate the world. Even if you don't remember the change, it happened? Did it though? How can you know that if you don't remember it? Think about it. From the universe perspective, on a cosmological scale, the concept of time might not have the same relevance. The universe doesn't have intentions, memories, or plans. It doesn't decide things based on past or possible future events. In this sense, some argue that time doesn't exist in the way it does for humans. There's only a perpetual state of change. That's kind of what I said previously, right? Okay, interesting. Well, I would say that... Hey, been watching you for weeks now, and I must say you helped me a lot. Those times are dark, but you made me see the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, man. Oh shit, fuck, that's I'm now able to swallow my own cum like you do. Thank you so much. You're welcome, buddy. Just don't drink too much, okay? It's good protein, but you gotta think about your heart. I don't know why you added that, and I don't know why I played into it. Wouldn't that just make everything not exist unless there's a sentient mind to observe it? Well, technically, yes. I would say, do things that we haven't discovered yet, do they truly exist? We can't know that. Yes, they do, but you don't know that. You cannot be sure. You may think they do. Like, you can only say that because of the past experiences, but you cannot possibly say that about future things. Like, you know, there's some scientists. Things exist regardless of my experience and knowledge of them. Well, here's the thing. I think you're going to that conclusion simply like logically. I think we're going back to our previous stream where we were discussing where the knowledge comes from, right? I cannot possibly subscribe personally to your comment there because I'm an empiricist. I believe that knowledge comes from my senses. So when you say that things exist regardless of your experience and knowledge of them, technically you don't know about that. You can assume it is by seeing pictures, seeing videos that, oh shit, there's other people that live all around the world. There's other cities. There's trains and fucking jobs and different professions and all of that thing, all of those things. But I feel like you know that because you kind of know about the world. If you live on an island and in a tribe that didn't communicate with an outside world, from your perspective, none of those things exist. Do they not exist completely? Like, well, obviously not, but only because we know about it. Like here's the thing. You can say that aliens must exist because there's so many different planets. There's so many different worlds and universes, and we exist. Therefore, it is it's a fair assumption, right? It's a fair assumption that aliens exist mathematically. But you can never say, I know for a fact that they do exist. You can't know that. You look like a fucking wacko, bro. I don't think that though knowledge of a thing isn't required for a thing to exist. It doesn't, well, it depends from what perspective you're looking at it. Like gravity was real before we measured gravity. Yeah, gravity was real because when you jump, you fucking fall. Like, you kind of experience gravity, you just don't have an explanation for it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it, like, you don't experience it, you don't know about it necessarily. You know that when you jump, you're gonna fall back. You know that if there's a big fucking jump, you know that you're gonna fall and you're gonna kill yourself. So you kind of understand that gravity is there. You just don't have a name for it. Maybe ancient people had a different name for it. They just didn't play with it too much. Maybe they had ideas. Hey, listen, like, here's the thing. When I jump, I fall back. If I jump from a bigger place, I fall back harder. What if I put a fucking plank and I throw a rock at the other side of the plank? It's gonna propel me upwards. And it's like, oh, that's an interesting thing. Let's call a name for it. Let's have a name for it. The word exist comes from the Greek term meaning to stand out. Well, we're going into like the meaning of words, but gravity would be real even if there was never us to know we'd fall back if we jump up. Again, here's the thing. You're not wrong about it. But if you look from your perspective, you wouldn't know that. You know? Like, you're wrong, but you can only say that with certainty because you know that gravity is a thing and it's real. Like, how about, you know, let's talk about like dark matter, right? It's a thing that scientists think that it may be a real thing, but they don't know. It's just an empty space in between atoms, and they don't know what that is. And they don't know. And there's plenty of it in the universe, and it kind of gravitational. It has mass, but we don't know what it is, and we don't know how to measure it or what to do with it. And it's like, but does it really exist? You know, what is it? We don't know. Does it, like, it kind of is there, but is it? So does dark matter exist or it doesn't? We don't know. You can't say that with certainty. With a concept that we already all familiar with, it's easier to argue, but the fact we don't know what it is doesn't change its properties. No, of course it doesn't. I agree with you. It does not. But our understanding, our understanding of it means that we don't know if it exists or not. Do you understand the difference? Like, it doesn't change. It doesn't. It's not some magical thing. It doesn't pop it in or out of reality just by thinking of it, obviously. But from our perspective, might as well be the same thing. Our understanding just creates a concept in our minds, doesn't change the nature of a thing. It does not, but that's what I'm saying. Like, concept, like time is just a concept that we came up. In nature, it doesn't really exist, right? Like a cloud. From the perspective, like, from our perspective, a cloud is like a concept that we describe a plum of X chemical or some shit, right? Like, it's just a concept. You understand? We're not talking about God, DVD. Talking about your mama. The change exists. Well, for who? For who does it exist? It exists for us because we remember what was previously. Jesus Christ, you're the sole reason I'm saying I researched TikTok, Twitter, Reddit. Why wouldn't you just hop on my Discord or YouTube? Just YouTube at... dude, bro, I was constantly shilling my YouTube. By the way, I made a new video. You can go check it out. It's youtube.com/@Topson. It just... yeah, but it really sucks that somebody stole my kick name. It really sucks. So... yeah, it sucks, man. How is the video doing? It's 4K views about? Change exists even if there's nobody to remember it, though. Stars explode even if nobody sees them. Somebody stole my kick name. Yeah, somebody has Thompson. I'm sure it's someone from the viewers or somebody who knows me. Just I'm talking with kick support, but they're super slow in responses. Our minds can be wrong. Animals see colors. Are they wrong for seeing those colors? No, we can see different colors, but it doesn't change that the color concept of color kind of exists, right? Like colors kind of exist. But then again, oh, that's an interesting thing. Do colors really exist? Colors is just a different lights of wavelength, and we perceive it to be colors because of how our eyes are like situated. Does color really exist in the universe? If some alien landed on the planet and we're like, yeah, this is red, and he's like, the fuck are you talking about, bro? So does it really exist? You know? You can say that, oh yeah, different light wavelengths exist, right? You can say that because we measured it and it's provable, and different materials exhibit different properties. But color is how our eyes interpret those different wavelengths, and there's plenty of wavelengths that we don't interpret. Colors are interpretation of some existing thing. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. Could we extrapolate that to time? But no, like different wavelengths. I don't know. I feel like I don't like that. I don't like that. Why don't I like that? I feel like I cannot interact with time. Maybe that's why I have a problem with it. Time is the order in which events occur only when you remember it. Right? Like, we cannot do anything with time. At least for now. We cannot go into the future. We cannot go into the past. We cannot, like, events occur even if you don't remember them. Yeah, events occur and change is happening. Does time exist? I'm still not convinced. Like, does it exist like as a thing in the universe? Like, for example, how do we measure time? We have a cog, right, in a clock that needs to do a certain number of rotations to put the arrow or whatever. Like, let's do the sun. It's the certain number of rotations, or like when the Earth rotates around the sun, and we have a sundial, right? You're going to the future all the time, yeah, time traveler. But what is time in your vocabulary? I would agree with the definition this piece of shit gave me. Time is a framework for ordering events. It's a perpetual change, right, of things. And then we use it to order things and make sense of it. So do events happen? Of course they do, yeah. Events, things, and change is happening. Is time a real thing? Can we order them? We can only order them from our like perspective and our understanding, whatever. But we cannot do anything with it. Time is change? I don't know, man. Is it? Time is change. Bro, I don't know. I feel like it's so difficult for me to bite the time bullet, bro. Based time defender. I mean, that does make sense. Like if I take this and I crush it, I change the state of it, but with time, I guess. But is it? I applied force to it. I just feel like past is not a thing in the universe. Yeah, that's what I said, that photons don't experience the sense of time. Everything is just stationary for them. They don't have the perspective of time. What is he gonna say about it? Photons, being particles of light, are said to not experience times as humans do, obviously. This is due to the nature of theory of relativity. Photons travel at the speed of light as they have no rest mass. Because of this, it's often said that from the perspective of a photon, even though it doesn't have a perspective, obviously, blah, 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 time does not pass at all. DVD says time is a measurement made up by humans. That's what I think. Time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock ticks life away. So unreal. This idea leads to some fascinating philosophical and scientific question. It challenges our everyday intuitions about time and illustrates how time itself is relative. Yeah, like time is relative. That's why I feel like it can't be. Like, 2 plus 2 is not relative. 2 plus 2 is a fucking fact, boy. Okay? Like, if we give 2 sticks to an alien, and then 2 more sticks, he can have a word for it or whatever to describe what he has, but he will ultimately have 4 sticks. It's undeniable truth. But if there's nobody to perceive the sticks, will 2 sticks exist? You don't know if they will. They may not. You don't know. It's a Schrodinger's shit. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that the experiment? You don't know if the fucking cat is in the box. You don't fucking know, bruh. When you reject the idea of time, can God exist? I don't reject the idea of time. I reject that time exists as a thing in the universe. That wasn't the question. I feel like you're struggling with that thing, like perspective. You need to change your perspective, man. All right, let's go back. So I'm gonna say that I'm leaning heavily towards, okay? Where is it? Ontological question. Human-made concept to describe change. That's what time is. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm leaning towards that. Not convinced. Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, do you believe that numbers, mathematical entities, or moral values exist independently of human thought? Well, no. Well, math is numbers. Like, what do they mean, numbers? Number 2 doesn't exist in the world. A concept of 2 things being next to each other kind of does. Right? Like, that's different. I feel like that's different. Moral values. Numbers and moral values are a human construct. Well, numbers I would say so. Math? Is the concept of two things the same as two things? No. I don't think so. If two things exist two things can exist independently from one another, but you as an observer, if you decide to group them because of their similar characteristics, you can call them two. Like if you see two sticks and they look very similar to you, you say, oh, there's two sticks there. If there's a brick and a stick laying on the ground, you're going to say, oh, there's a brick and a stick there. But you can also say, look at those two things over there. Two things, maybe like there's a better grouping of that. But if there's like one pile of sand and one pile of gravel, and you're a construction worker, you can say, hey, look at those two piles. Or you can say, look at that pile of sand and a pile of gravel. So technically, two things is not the same as a concept of two things. I think. I think. Okay? Yeah, math and axioms and all that shit. I feel like it's undeniable truth, and it helps us understand very real things that exist in the world. But are those things? Do those things kind of exist in the world, right? I don't know. Is it related to the question whether math is invented or discovered? I think it's invented. I would say so, right? It's invented, but I feel like it has to be invented. Like, when you reach certain... Doesn't math map onto reality? Yeah, yeah, it does. Oh, there goes gravity. But I think it's like backwards. It's rather not math that maps onto reality. Yeah, that's true. Like, math does map onto reality, but reality does not map onto the math, you know? You know what I mean? Math invented independently says the same thing. Well, invented by who? People, right? I don't believe so. I don't believe they exist independently of human thought. I don't like that. I don't believe it. There's definitely rules to the universe. And those rules is simply like the way things interact between one another. But those rules are only there because if they wouldn't be there, we wouldn't be here. Right? So to say that they're like, they always existed is not necessarily true. If they wouldn't exist, we wouldn't exist. So going back from our perspective, those rules can be expressed mathematically. Yeah, it's the way for us to interpret those rules. It's like, I guess maybe somebody said this, or I've heard this somewhere, because it's like math is like the language to the universe, basically. You know? Math, physics, whatever. Math, let's just call it math. It's like coding language to the universe, right? Just like a rock can exist, the concept of a rock exists only with us. Because if I show you a rock and you've never seen a rock, you don't know what that is, right? You may be an alien that perceives a reality completely different from us. We wouldn't know how, but maybe you perceive everything based on their fucking atomic structures, you know? And one rock is exactly the same to us, but one could be volcanic and one could be like fucking, you know, have a different structure, and it sees it at completely different things. Well, share is not a thing that happens independently of human intervention, so. I mean, again, look, right, when I say rock, who do you imagine? A bald, 6'7", jacked fucking guy, or a stone, you know? Okay. How do you understand the concept of identity? I don't know. I feel like I agree with this. I don't know. If you disagree, feel free to fuck off, bro. How do you understand the concept of identity? Can something change substantially and still be the same thing? Ship that has all of its parts replaced. Woo. There's a book on philosophy of science which shows different perspectives and the problems with it. I mean, bro, this is philosophy. There's no, like, actual true answers, right? That's why I feel like a lot of philosophy is just like fucking wordplay, though. Or like word games or some shit. I think a lot of philosophy is just a showcase of how shitty our language truly is, to help understand people what they think and what they mean. If Russians started a revolution and build a democracy, will they still be Russians? I mean, if for that to happen, we have to kill all of them, then probably not. Right? I mean, self-identification is what matters, but I know you're fucking kidding. Whatever. Okay. So how do you understand the concept of identity? Can something change substantially and still be the same thing? I mean, technically, it would have to be dependent on your knowledge. Right? Of your knowledge of a previous thing. Because if you're a kid and your dog dies, and I go and buy the same fucking exact dog in a shop and give it to you, you like, boom, your dog is alive. You never even fucking knew it's a different thing. But is it truly the same thing? No, obviously. Like, can something change substantially and still be the same thing? Ship that has all of its parts replaced, I would say that it would be a different ship. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we would have to refer to it as a different thing. Right? I think it depends on knowledge of a previous state. Still, technically, it's a different thing. Atoms in a human change every 7 years. Well, yeah, but that's like, these concepts are like just human concepts to try and describe. I think it's like just It's a thing to just what's the word? It's just handy. It's just handy, you know? It just works in our current world. Yeah, we can it's technically it is a different thing, but we can identify it as a same thing. So it's like, it's not a perfect answer, but I feel like it's sufficient. Technically it's not the same, but for the ease of use or whatever, if it's handy for us to refer to it as the same thing, we will, and it wouldn't change much. Performs the same function, right? For ease and for ease, whatever, since it's like I wanted to add like performs the same function, but whatever. Do you believe in free will, or do you think that every event do you believe in free will? Guys, hashtag free will. Will has to be freed. Do you believe in free will, or do you think that every event, including human actions, is determined by previous events? You're playing with semantics in language. Bro, you're playing with your dick, okay? I'm playing with your mother. We're not the same, okay? I don't think there's free will. I think that we're products of our environments. I don't think we actually decide anything, right? It's an illusion of freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom, you know? I feel like a lot of people, what they refer to as freedom of will is just an ability to choose from a wide range of possibilities that they will be, based on their previous experience, more inclined to choose one thing or another. That's why we can predict human behavior to some extent. And I'm sure in the future we would be able to predict it even better. Right now we don't really understand how our brains work necessarily all too well. If there's no free will, then we can't blame Putin for invading. I understand what you mean, and I thought about this as well. Like, technically speaking, if there's no free will, we cannot say that people are responsible for their actions. But I think that doesn't necessarily follow, because we live in a society, okay? No, in society, we have some mechanisms and rules that are concepts that we all agree on, because we collectively decided that following a set of principles and rules will produce better outcomes for society. I feel like consequences is one of those principles, and that even though you technically do not have free will, the understanding of a consequence may influence your choice into a more beneficial choice for the society. Therefore, it exists. That's the reason for its existence. So, personal responsibility is just a human concept, and It exists in society to produce better outcomes for people, because simply a thought that you have consequences for your actions influences your actions. So it further supports that you have even less free will, right? Than you thought, or some shit. So yeah, like, think about it, right? Your childhood influences what kind of person you are. Your interest influence what kind of person you are. Your interest in a specific interest is influenced by your previous experiences. Like, you may pick up a sport because you think that you saw it on TV one day, and the guy who was doing that sport was insanely popular with the girls, and you're constantly bullied by the girls because you look dirty, and you have fucked up teeth, and you have braces, or some shit. And then all of these like things clump up together, and you decide to be a fucking basketball dude. Also because you're tall, right? Like, did you really have free will there, or a bunch of events kind of influenced your decision? It's about responsibility. I don't think, again, I think you can easily combine these concepts. I think you can combine lack of free will, that you're a product of your environment, with responsibility. I think you can. I just did fucking 2 minutes ago. You talk about human concepts. What are these concepts outside of you being human, since you're empirical? I'm empirical what concerns knowledge. Are human concepts knowledge about a particular thing? What do you mean? Like, empirical means that you believe that knowledge comes from you interacting with things through your senses. Human concept is a thing that we outlined and explained to everyone. Everyone just agreed on it. It doesn't really exist, but as long as other people can exert their influence based on the concept, it's real to you, kinda. Well, they should be, since there shouldn't be anything out of the human concept. That's not true. Why not? Like, what do you mean? If you like, let's say a concept of a responsibility, right? It means that when you do a certain action that the society will not reciprocate, or I mean, consequences don't have to be bad. It's like if you do an action, you may receive a response. Depends on kind of type of action you do. I don't understand how it. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean. These are not mutually exclusive thoughts. Judge, I'm innocent. I didn't kill him. I literally just explained a couple of minutes ago that personal responsibility is a useful concept for society, and we all agreed on it, and it doesn't matter necessarily if it was your free will or a decision that was done based on all the previous things. I guess you can just be unlucky, you know? But, well, you're fucked anyway. I'm sorry. People who are in jails, they're just unlucky. I can easily bite that bullet and just say that. They're just unlucky. Sucks for you, bro. It sucks that you were fired from your job and you don't have money. And you come home and your wife didn't cook you a sandwich. So you take a knife and stab her. That's unlucky, you know? That sucks. You go to prison because we all agreed, you know? Maybe that could be an interesting argument in favor of the lack of free will. Because despite all the agreements in the society that you're gonna get fucked for doing something bad, people still do something bad. If they had free will, wouldn't they choose not to do it? Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have free will, therefore you didn't really decide to kill that person, or like you didn't really have a choice not to kill that person. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not gonna lock you up. Yeah, true. You could just easily, I mean, I feel like in certain situations, people could just say, like, if you take a killer and he will tell you their life story, right? You may say that, oh man, that sucks. You know, very unlucky situation, right? A person who drives a car and then, I don't know, fucking, I don't know, something happens. He has a spasm in his right arm. He pushes the wheel and kills a child. He goes to prison. That's fucking unlucky, bro. You know? Do you see the Netflix show Interviewed Killers? I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch anything. I don't have time for anything. I only watch Destiny for like maybe an hour or two, and that's it. When I have free time. I don't watch anything at all. Not TV shows, fucking movies rarely and shit, like fucking not documentaries. But still, right? Like, that's just unlucky. It sucks. But, you know, we're gonna lock you up because, you know, maybe you need some time to think, you know, about where you want to take your life further. And there's this experience of prison may influence, I mean, it does influence your perspective. And then depending on how lucky you are after you exit the prison, you may commit or may not commit further crimes. Boom. But I feel like that concept of prison and consequences kind of deters a number of people from... Otherwise, if you believe in the concept of free will, none of that shit matters. Right? It doesn't influence your decisions because you have free will. You can choose anything to do at any moment in time, right? Technically, would that be the counter argument to free will? Anyway, every event, including human action, is determined. That's what I think. I'm sorry. It says every event, including human actions, is determined by previous events. Yes, by previous events. That's a very important thing, I feel like, because I don't believe in that fucking fate bullshit, you know? I don't believe in that shit. Like, I don't think you have a predetermined path, you know? There's a lot of randomness that happens all around that is impossible to account for, because that's what randomness is, right? It's just a pattern that we don't recognize. We don't know how it, like, we can't recognize, therefore we cannot predict, right? Fate that sent us, yeah, it was probably Twitch recommendation algorithm, right? At some point. Okay, right, listen. I feel like we can stop at 5 questions, all right? I feel like we can stop at half of this. We have 10, and then we continue tomorrow. I think these are really interesting parts of the stream. Next time, maybe I'll start this earlier, so I wouldn't have to fucking sit here at 1 a.m. So I'll save my answers, and we'll continue at the other stream. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate the thoughtful discussion and engagement. Tune in for tomorrow's stream. More news. more philosophical shit, maybe, probably. And you know, tune into my Discord. Join my, you know, YouTube, Kick, whatever. Don't miss anything, guys. Just join Discord, for fuck's sake. You know, just join Discord. You're not gonna regret it. You don't have to fucking type anything, but you're always gonna know what the fuck is happening. Okay, it's a place to know what the fuck is happening with me in the stream. Okay, so yeah, cheers. See ya.